Well, there you go. Groggy, everything's gone wrong. Everything was going really, really well until about 3 minutes ago. And then it all went kaflooey. Anyway, I'll put my apron on and we will be into it. Welcome, everyone. I had a really squish intro. And then I was meant to come on, I was going to be all ready, but I'm not. I thought I would be. Yeah, that's the way things go, I suppose. Oh dear, it's good not to be organised because then you're never disappointed. Well, we've got a good show today, planned for everybody. Theo's not here. Good morning, Kim. How are you? Theo's not here, unfortunately. He's down in Melbourne in the southern states doing a woodworking show down there, but I'm sure he would love to be here. Howdy, Chris from Atlanta. Mate, welcome. Oh, so I'm just going to get a bit organised. As you can tell, it's pandemonium. I had everything all nicely. Now that flipping thingamajiggle's not working. Hang on, let me see if I can get that one. You can see it, but I can't. Wait a minute, let's see what happens if I press this one. Boom, there you go. Am I going to get something? Oh, I've got screens all the way around me, so I know where I'm up to, but holy dollies, good morning, Marcelo. Good morning, Kim again. Hi from Brazil. Oh, we're going international. Ray, welcome to the bench, mate. It's all happening. Pandemonium as usual. I'm just looking at this screen up here because I want it to kick in, but if it doesn't kick in, it's not going to kick in. It's my security blanket because I know what I'm doing. Hang on, wait a minute. I'll just go up there and Bob's having a bark. What's he barking about? I wouldn't have a clue. We've got this one here goes here. This one here goes here. This one here goes here. Oh dear. Input. Well, that should be that one. What happens if I do this one? Although there again, TV's old, it might be on the blink. Who knows? Happens to the best of us. Okay, well, we'll go up to the next one. Yeah, so Theo's not here, and I thought, I've got so much room that I can get all this stuff done now. And no, it's not working. Why isn't it working? Oh, well. I'll just have to live without it, I suppose. Providing that's working, that's working. Oh, well. It's one of those things. Hello, Bob. Did you come in to say hello or did you come to bludge me breakfast again? You're going to say hi? Come here. Come on. There he is. There's the big fella. There you go. Say good morning. No, I'll feed you in a bit, all right? Theo's not here. I know it's terrible, isn't it? It's so sad. But he'll be back next week. Now, very foggy in southwestern Australia. G'day, Ren. How are you, Roy? Good to have you, mate. Perfect Pens, Tony. Now I know who you are. There you go. Welcome to the workshop. And welcome, Frostfus from Mixout. What I'm going to try and do is read out the, the chat, because I'm looking at 3 lots of chat, and I looked at the video the other day that I was doing, and I thought that's not making sense, because if you write something in Twitch but you're watching me on YouTube, you won't know what I'm answering. So I'm going to try and make it a bit easier so you can get involved in what's happening. But if you want to stick with Twitch or Mixer or YouTube and not worry about the other platforms, that's okay too. Oh dear, well that's good. I'm happy about that, right, Roy? Hello from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Well, g'day, Kevin. Welcome to the workshop. Welcome to the bench. Jared Cartridge. Hello from Oklahoma. Welcome to the workshop. Welcome to the bench. Got a lot of things I want to get through, my breakfast being one of them. And I thought we'd do a whole heap of different things today. There's some carryover stuff. Geez, my voice is going already. I've only just started. There's some carryover stuff from... I'll get a glass of water. Yeah, mate, in a minute. Carryover stuff from the Wednesday stream that people wanted to see. So if those people are on board, I'll do it for them. And if they're not, I'll explain what they wanted me to do. and I will do it. In about an hour or so, I better check my batteries because I'm not super confident that my batteries in my microphone. I've done 3 streams with it. Normally I change them after 2 streams, but we'll see how we go. What to do first? Let me just move this up here. Oh, here we go. I can see what's happening there. Daniel, hey, how are you? Welcome to the bench. Just move this. These are awesome. I've had these before. I bought a big box of them because I'm always losing them. But they're punches that... I've changed my camera angle too. So, make sure I got the right face. Okay. There, you don't have to hit it with a hammer. You just... And I've got a lemon. No, there we go. You just push down and they pneumatically punch. So it's good sometimes if you've got only one hand free and you've got to punch something. So I'll leave that there because we might use that later on. What have I got planned? I want to sharpen some knives. Gunny 2, hello, how goes it, mate? Goes extremely well. Woke up this morning and I thought, well, that's a start, which is always good to wake up, I find. Greeting from Germany. What will you build today? I'm getting there, Phosphorus. And to tell you the truth, I haven't got a clue. Anyway, no, I've got a whole heap of things sort of in the back of my mind. So I'm going to sharpen a couple of knives. Somebody asked me on Wednesday how you sharpen a knife on a Tormic, so I will do that. And then a lot of this, I was actually going to film. I want to get an echo. Let me get rid of that so I'm not getting echo. Whoop, there we go. I was going to be filming this in the in-house workshop, up in the house, the room for woodwork, or soon to be renamed Woodworking Masterclass Unplugged. Only thing was the IT stuff that I required hasn't come in yet, even though I ordered it 2 weeks ago. And what I've discovered is if you take everything away from here and go and set it up there and then bring them back, all your settings are messed up here. So then you're going to have to reset everything, and that takes for ages. So I've duplicated, not exactly what I've got here, but pretty close, up in the in-house workshop. And what didn't come was the capture card, because I use one video camera and I put that through a capture card because I run the mic through that. That's why sometimes there's a bit of a delay. I've got the Stream Deck, I've got the cameras, I've got everything else I need. Upgraded the computer to Windows 10. Although going through Restream, I don't think it matters, but if I was going to mix a direct, I had to have Windows 10. My goodness, hang on, let me catch up with this. Hello, Phil from England. George, g'day mate, how you going? Good to see you. I don't know if you saw the other day, but we were talking about these real cool little devices here. Comes in all sorts of colours, and that's his latest one that's just been released, the G6, and I'll show you how they go. They are absolutely superb. I'm a mechanic by trade, and I used to find when I was in the old days replacing ball joints in those days it was XC and XA Falcons, they were riveted on and used to have to get underneath the wheel arch in the front with a pneumatic hammer. In those days there was no such thing as OH&S. But sometimes I'd remember my earplugs, but I'd never remember my safety goggles. Whereas with these, check it out. Your ears are protected and your eyes are protected. And if you wear glasses, they come straight over there. They're called, called eye muffs. Check them out online, eye muffs. I did have a logo here somewhere, but I haven't loaded it. And this is the latest one. Giving you a free plug, George. It's a G6. Well, I don't think there's a downfall in these at all, but you can get sparks and bits of rubbish coming up, which will come under even your own glasses, whereas these are a full goggle, and they're sealed, and yeah, great on grinders. I'd use it on the lathe, but your face isn't protected, so maybe these with a full face shield, I don't know. But yeah, they're and great. Oh, if you're doing jobs around the house, put them on. You see, you can do that, and people think you're working. You don't have to be working, but you can't hear anything else. So you get domestic domestic deafness, but you can't get into trouble because you can pretend you're working. They don't say I said that, but it works. Where do we go? Oh, okay. So that was George. Eyemuffs, they're called, by the way. Sorty Social on YouTube from Lithuania. G'day, welcome to the workshop. Welcome Australia. Welcome to the bench. Carl from Bellingup. Now, I don't know, is that a place in Australia? It sounds Australian to me. And g'day, PC? Is that PT, isn't it? From Portugal. Oh, that's good, George. Pleased to hear you well. Oh, Fireglow, thank you. I'm pleased I'm streaming too. Actually, funny you should say that because I nearly didn't, and I don't know how long I can stream today for. I got bitten on where your foot and your ankle comes out, right there in bed the other night. An insect, the smallest little insect you can see, and it's called an assassin bug. And by crikey, I nearly jumped out of the bed. The pain, it was like someone jabbed a hypodermic in me. Didn't think about it. The next couple of days, all my legs swelled up and, I had no feeling in it. And it's getting a bit better now, but, and I said to Susie, my wife, yesterday, I thought, geez, I hope I can stream. But the draw of the string got the adrenaline running and I'm here. So when I say I'm pleased to be here, I mean I'm pleased to be here. George from Greece. See, if Theo was here, he could say hello. I'm going to have to ask him what hello is in Greek. Dear. George, self-promotion. Great Aussie safety gear. It is. A full face shield with a half mask. Respirators coming soon. Keep your eyes out for that, for eye muffs. What is it? eyemuffs.com.au. There you go. Andy Sims from Atlanta, number 2, second one. Thank you for all your teaching. Well, thank you for your patronage. It keeps me sane. It really does. It gives me something to want to do. Oh, that's in Bellinga in southwest Australia. Oh, you must be close to young Raymond. There you go. PT, got it right. Those Australian bugs are absolutely deadly. Mate, I tell you what, I'm sure it happens at a lot of other places in the world, but many, many years ago, we used to go on exercises, and in the North Queensland, I reckon at least one person every exercise would either die or get bitten by a taipan that'd get down into their sleeping bag during the day. And if you were smart, you always turn your sleeping bag inside out before you got in it. Spiders, I've got redbacks around here, but we've got a deal, and I've got a snake outside that's under one of my timber piles, but we've got a deal there too. And so far, I haven't violated the treaty, and he hasn't either, so we're getting on just fine. Okay. Now, and someone wants sharpen chisels. Hang on, who wanted to say? Phil. All right, I'll show you how to sharpen chisels on a tormic, and I'll show you how to sharpen chisels on a stone. How's that? Will that suffice? Bellingup. I think that's right, isn't it, Carl? I hope so. Okay. Porto Rio Tinto. Oh, sorry. All right. Shane, hello, YouTube. Welcome to the workshop. Oh, there you go, George. I didn't know that. George just said here he's from Puerto Rico as well. There you go. Well, I'm pleased you're in Australia now, mate. Good evening from the west coast of Wales. Chris, good evening. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you stick around and enjoy what we do. And now I'm thinking, oh dear, might sharpen some. No, I tell you what, let's do a real quick project. Let me put my keyboard to one side. This is a fun thing, and I've had a lot of emails from people starting out in woodworking saying, you know, oh look, I'm not confident, I don't know what to do, and I don't have the tools. You know, and a lot of times, hey, it's true. I'm just going to put my phone on, whatever you may call it, flight mode. We're all scared to try something new because what if we stuff it up? Oh, we're going to look stupid. Friend of mine, Mark, if you're watching, his grandfather, I think, had this saying. He said, whenever you try something for the first time, always say to yourself, this is the first time, I'm going to mess it up. That relieves all this performance anxiety, pressure that you've got to get it right. This is the first time I'm going to stuff it up. And like as not, you might not stuff it up. Oh, I had an interesting one the other day too. I did something the other day, and this is related to what I was just saying. People, students in particular that I've had in the past, they want to make something, and I'll say, okay, well, what do you want to make? And they'll say, okay, all right, well, what do you want to make it out? Oh, I'm going to make it out of pine first. Why? Apart from the fact pine is a horrible material to work with, radiata pine I'm talking about, King Billy pine, Huon pine, Norfolk pine, some other pines are fantastic. But this radiata pine that we have in Australia, which is plantation grown, great timber for constructions and this, that and the other. And I have made hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of furniture out of it. But if you want long lasting and you want it to be unique, stay away from radiata pine. And so they want to make something in radiata pine. I said, why? They said, well, because if I mess it up, it doesn't cost so much. Well, the trick is, what happens if you get it right, then you've got to build it again using another timber. And if you're paying a lot of money for the timber, you'll most likely get it right because you'll be more careful. My art teacher, I had to learn how, I didn't have to, I wanted to learn how to draw once. And I said, oh no, I'll just get cheap paper. No. She said, you do it on good paper, because if you get it right and it's on butcher's paper, it's going to not stand the test of time. The butcher's paper will degrade. Whereas if you do it on good quality cartridge paper and it's a winner, you've got one you're proud to frame. And she always used to make us sign the stuff. I've forgotten what her name was. There you go, it's been a while. But anyway, that was good advice. Ah, dear. Okay. So well, let's do something. Howdy, Clement. Thanks for the bob. I love it. Portuguese bought Australian grown. So what, you're made out of local and imported parts, mate? That's shocking. Oh dear, oh dear. Close. Chris Ward, I got my first number 4 the other day and spent 2 hours getting all the machining marks off by hand with sandpaper and such. Mate, that's the only way to do it. You can, if you've got a mate that's got a grinding machine, a lateral grinding machine, but that's the only way. Sheet of glass, sandpaper on the top, and just keep going and going and going, and it will come out. ACL, isn't that something in your knee? ACL, cheers and peace back at you, my friend, to Seattle. Okay, what I thought we'd do, this is so much fun. Let me see. All right, I've just got to see how far this camera reaches, and then I can either show you the whole process, or you won't see me doing one part of the process, and you'll think I'm tricking you, but I'm not. So, wait a minute. Hey, tell you what, while I'm doing this, I'll try that music, see if the music, and I've turned it down. Let me know if it's better. There you go. Listen to that. I'll just go and check this out. Dear, all right. Oh, I'm so pleased that worked. Okay, piece of pine, bit of timber after saying what I was saying about pine, but these are great fun. You can do them for gifts, you can do them up, you can leave them like this, you can get your kids to do them. It is absolutely magic. I call it the 60-second wine rack, and I've done it on YouTube before, but I haven't done it live, so I'll see if I can make a complete goose out of myself. What I need is, where are my rulers gone? Rulers and pencils, fair dinkum. They are like chops on the table with Bob around. They just disappear. Oh, he wasn't popular the other day. My wife had just made us beautiful porterhouse steak dinners. And she went somewhere and I was in the office and we came back. All the vegetables were there, but there was about 24 bucks worth of porterhouse that was securely entrenched in Bob's belly. This is a little mutt. Okay, so, where's a pencil? Pencil. I've done some wood turning too this week. Don't tell Theo. I didn't use his lathe, I used my old clunker that's out the back. Wasn't going to use his lathe. But there was no injury at all. So I'll show you what I did in a little bit. All right. Should get a timer, shouldn't I? Hang on, I've got this. Oh! No, I can do that. No, it's going to be too complicated. I'll do it here. I'll time on myself. Where are we? Hello, Bob. Carrying on about something. Boom. Oh, that's a countdown. Okay, here we go. All right. So what I need is a piece 250 long. It doesn't matter about the width. That's 4¼ inches or 110 mil. You could use 70 mil. It really doesn't matter. So that's 270. Oh, hang on, I hope this isn't. That could be the bit I need for that job. Wait a minute. Oh, what would this one do? This is the one I want. Here we go. Okay. So it's 250 mil wide. And what you do is come down about 80 mil. Or what's that? 3¼ inches. 3⅛ inch. It's not that critical. And then in the middle, put a mark. Like that. And all things being equal, we will have a wine holder for a bottle of wine. And everyone's going, no, don't believe it. All right, wait a minute. Let me start this. It's pressure, this is. All right. So there we. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you can see that. That's 1 minute. And it started. Okay. the wine over there and I'm wasting precious seconds. Oh, I've got a 35mm bit in here that I'm just going to cut a hole with. And then we'll turn that around. And I'm going to cut 45 degrees this way. "45 degrees the other way. That was just over a minute, and I think that was because I was talking. Oh, I gave you the wrong flipping... I gave you the wrong camera, didn't I? Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on, I'll do it again. All right. Shut up. Noisy phones. All right. Anyway, I'll show it to you again. And this time I'll have the right camera. Was that the right camera or the wrong camera? Did you see any of that? Or was that on the wrong camera? But anyway, I'll do it again. But, whoops. There you go. And that's, honestly, you can do it in less than a minute. And it's sort of project, if you like, you can embellish it, you can carve it, you can do whatever you like with it. And here we go. Oh, look at that, I've been, wrong camera. I thought it was. Okay, I'll do it again, but I'll have the right camera. Wait a minute. That one can go in the jettison bin. See if I'll find another piece. Got to be another bit of crappy pine around here. All right. I shall do it again, and this time I'll use the right camera. So I measure to 50 to there. That's the length I want. Then I measure down 80mm, or what's that, 3 1/8. It really doesn't matter. Then you find the centre of the board, and the easy way to find the centre of the board is to do what I'm doing there. I've got the corner of the ruler sitting here, and then I swing this around until something's divisible by 2 on the other side. In this case, 12's there, so if I mark that at 6, that's it, so that's going to be right about there. So then I put a punch in there, and I'm going to try that again, just to prove it can be done. You might not see much there because I can't quite get that camera all the way in, I don't think. All right, you might be able to. Let's have a look. There you go, you can see that, my messy other part of my shed. So, I think this is about a minute, so you can have some music with this one. And I'll see if I can do it again. And then I'll come back and catch up on chat. Wrong camera, can't see it. Oh dear. Physics, no mate, that's not physics. German Bambi, that ain't physics, that's old age. I can't remember. That's the card I'm pulling. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. All right. Did I do that? No, let's go here. All right. Negotiate through here. Turn it over or else you get a horrible exit hole. That's it. Come over here, I'll just make sure. Oh, look, I'm giving up on this. I just drilled the hole, okay? Just drilled the hole. Now, where are we? So then you cut. "45 degrees. Move it along. Cut 45 degrees. Now, all things being equal, that should be okay. And I'm not classing rearranging the cameras as part of it. Can't find the bottle of plonk now. Here you go. There you go. Was that a better demonstration, even though you didn't see me drill the hole? But honestly, they are just so much fun. I remember I had to make 1,000 of them once for a giveaway for a company. And what you can do, once you understand the principle of that, these ones had gum leaves in them. So providing you've got the hole there, you can do whatever you like there. You can, let me see. Okay, yeah. You could have, nothing wrong with having a chili. And then you, okay. So then you've got, you could draw a chili on it like that, and then paint that red, and then your wine would sit in a chili wine holder. Or you could do, you could have that as someone's mouth and then do 2 eyes and a nose and a beard or whatever. They are just so much fun, but so easy to do. I was going to do that, as I said, in the house, and I was going to use a handsaw, so I still might do that when I get all the stuff ready for Room for Woodwork, and we can have some fun. Well, that's the first one for the day, and yeah, they're fun. They really are. Ah, okay. Let me catch up. Who's talking? There we go. Yeah, no, they are. They're fun. Nolak, g'day. Welcome to the workshop. No, mate. Drill the hole straight through. And as let me get out the bin now. Oh, if you really want to, what you can do is, if you've got a router, you can route a 45 around that. I don't know what I've got in the router actually. If I've got a 45, let me have a look. No, I've just got a round over on that one. But yeah, you can route it, or if you've got a carving chisel, you can just carve that bit there and this bit on the inside, on the top and on the bottom, and that will give you a little bit more purchase for your wine. But I personally, I like it when it's like that, especially if it's old school and it's got a cork in there. That keeps the cork nice and wet. so it won't dry out. But yeah, look, you can have so much fun with them. And they're cheap. You can post them anywhere in the world because they're flat pack. There you go. That's an IKEA wine rack flat pack. Oh, did I get it right then? Yeah, I'm working. I can get one camera going or I can get the music going, but it's a struggle. I've got to get both things going together. No, you must have got that when I was cutting it up. You must have. What size? It's the size of the drill. Someone on Twitch, Zenophere, wants to know what size hole. It's a 32 mil and it's a spade bit. Why do you use a normal pencil, not a thick square one? Because they're too hard to handle. Hang on, what? Oh, the boss is in.
You just
what?
got a delivery.
I just got a parcel. What would you bring it down there for? It's all right. Have you met my wife? This is my gorgeous wife that lets me do all these crazy, crazy things. And she's got a stream too called Cranky Old Nails. Oh! Crafty Old Women. Well, it depends. Sometimes she's cranky. But no, it's Crafty Old Women. There you go. I'm going to open my parcel. Are you going out? Are you staying? Or?
I'm going out in a little bit.
Where are you going?
I don't know whether to go today or tomorrow.
We're going this afternoon.
All right, that's head on with me.
That's all right.
All right.
We go have hot chocolates.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Oh, all right. To Steve Hay. I just have a look at that. Where are we? Where I get the right camera this time. Oh, won't give you an address, George. From George. That's the iMuff man. Oh dear. I've got to check this out. Bye, Bob. Excuse me whilst I just indulge myself. Like if it was a plain-faced envelope, I wouldn't bother. Did you packed it well? Oh, mate. Oh dear. Talk about instant gratification. Check that out. iMuffs. This is the new, the G6. What ones? Oh no! Oh mate, you're too good to me. Just check these out. Look at that. Camouflage. So they go with my apron so you can't see me. Mate, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I know you mentioned it a few streams ago and I thought, yeah, no, that'd be nice. But mate, oh, you're lucky you're not here. I'd kiss you. I've got a router job to do later on, so I'm going to use these. Oh, hey, do they look swish? Look at that. That is, oh, mate, and the carry case too. I love the carry. Oh, and a spare set of lenses. Oh, mate, your blood's worth bottling. They are nice, and they go with. Mother can't see me gear. See, now you're going to get a big order from the Defence Department. Oh, that is extraordinary. Excuse everyone else, excuse my moments of indulgence. Oh, mate, you're a champion. Thank you so much. That is all. I'm keeping that in the box. Yeah, because my other ones, they just get used every day, but, oh, they go in there. So there you go. iMuffs, but you can't have camouflage ones, apparently. They're just for me. I feel special now. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's blown me away. That's it, end of stream. No, don't be silly. I'm still here. Oh, you're the man, George. Oh, dear. That has made my day. Oh, God, let me get back to chat now. Oh. Mate, we should have a coffee, only you live too far away. What size hole do I drill? 30? That was before I was interrupted by the trouble and strife. I love it when she comes down. I go into her stream sometimes. And I know some of you that watch me watch her, so it's good. It's fun. So yeah, 35 mil. What's that? Inch and a half. Why do I use a normal pencil? Because I don't like that. Why are you changing the name of Room for Woodwork? Only because Kevin's asked this on YouTube. Room for Woodwork, I think if I can have Woodworking Masterclass unplugged, it just makes more sense with the branding of what it is that I actually do. But I like Room for Woodwork, so I am ambivalent about it at the moment. But I think it makes more sense to have it unplugged because that's 99.9% hand tools. And I cleaned the bench off and everything and I was rip-roaring to go and I set it all up, and then when the stuff didn't come I was a little disappointed, but we're getting a lot closer to doing it. Dear, good side business. What's a good side business? Oh, knocking those out. Oh, I think I charged $1 each for them, and believe me, if I did them again, there'd be more than $1 each. But that was a long time ago. That one, I actually, on Twitch, Xenophia is asking, do I prefer spade bits? No, I don't. What I really prefer is these, which are Forstner bits. They give you a much cleaner cut, hardly any tear out. I still go halfway through and then back in the other way. But the reason I used a spade bit on that was a lot of people don't have Forstner bits, and most people would have a spade bit. And to show you just how easy and quickly you can do it. As a rule, I much prefer using Forstner bits. But spade bits will get the job done. Yeah, that's what I reckon. The accolades on Twitch for my eye muffs. Brilliant. And people like the wine rack thingamajiggle too, which was really, really cool. What brand is your saw and are you happy with it? Carl on YouTube. That one actually is a Metabo, if you're talking about the docking saw, and it is the same as what used to be an Electrobecken. And then they, I think Electrobecken, I don't know if they're still existing, Metabo might have taken them over. But the thing I love with it, I will go over there and turn it on. Now bearing in mind this is a docking saw, that's how noisy it is to turn off and turn on. And that was the bit that endeared me, because I'm not, despite what I do to Theo when he's here and make loud noises, I don't like loud noises. So that's what sold me on that saw, because it's so quiet and compact, which is really good. And yes, I'm very happy with. Yeah, I like parcels too. Oh, she's gone, mate. Thanks, Bambi, I'll tell her that. James, you got a parcel day full of guitars. Well, way to go. Cigars and pipe tobacco. Oh. Cigars and pipe tobacco. Oh, well, you're like the humidor that we're going to be making later on. Oh, yeah, one of a... George says, yes, camo is just one of a kind. Yeah, they are cool, Chris. Chris said they're a cool bit of kit on YouTube. Those are too much. I want them. Well, you can have them, but not that colour. Xenophia. Little hard to hear you over the music at present. Is that still going? Oh, look, I've got to stop that. That's bloody stupid. I mean, excuse me. Shouldn't have said that. No, I'm going to give this music a miss. I thought it was a good idea, but I keep forgetting. So, look, if I leave that music on, tell me and I'll get rid of it, because I hate music. Normally when I'm watching, but I just thought that'd be a nice fill. Mountain Woodworks, g'day, welcome back to the workshop. And I'm sorry I've mostly ticked the whole people that were watching off because I had Justin playing. Not that it was Justin's playing, it was just that I was trying to talk over the top of it. You bought a Laguna bandsaw, Philip. Well, congratulations. Yep, they're a nice bandsaw. There's a lot of things I like about them. There's not much I don't like about them. So, yeah, stick with it. I'm sure you'll have hours of fun. G'day, Doc. How are you? Morning from Sydney. Different Doc. Well, there you go. Welcome to the workbench. Smelly butthole. This is a playback, is it? No, it's not. This is live, truly. You got a T7 the other day. Good on you, mate. Yep. No, they are good. You'll enjoy that. I'll show you how to sharpen knives on it shortly. Any chance you could lower the music? Yeah, it's gone. Is the location of the hole critical? Well, yes and no. Liam, no, hang on. James just asked if the location of this hole is critical. It is and it's not. You can be half an inch either way. All it does, it just affects the centre of balance. So if that was a little bit higher, the bottle would drop down a bit more. If it was a bit lower, it'd stick up a bit more. So, and look, it depends on the bottle. Different bottles, if I had that there, it's not going to work. So you just play around until you find that centre of balance. And it will work. G'day, Liam. Good stuff. Thanks, Doc. All right. Now, I said I'll sharpen a knife. Let's do that. And seeing Clement's just bought a Tormic, and then I'll show you how to sharpen a chisel, and then we'll sharpen the chisel on a stone. Oh, I think I need a extension lead. Theo, what are you? You haven't gone in yet, so you could be talking to me on the phone and talking me through this. Someone said to Theo the other day that guy you do that stream with on Saturday, he doesn't pull his weight, does he? Meaning I don't work hard enough. No, but, oh, speaking of which, where did that thing go? Oh, there you go. That's the mallet I was working on last week. That took me 3 hours to put the mortars through, but that's it. Oh, there we go. That's it there. So it's a good user. It's a nice sturdy bit. The handle I couldn't have used for anything. And it's just had a coat of linseed oil on it. It's coachwood on the top and figured blackwood on the handle. So that's what we did last Saturday. And Theo's 2 chisels, which we wedged on Monday. That he did on the lathe, which looked far neater than mine. That's coachwood and, I think it's Tassie oak or Vic ash on the handle, and that's coachwood with New Guinea rosewood on the handle. All work extremely well. If you want to know anything too, just ask away, and I'll, because I don't have anything super planned but can't get changed. Which way am I going? I'm going that way, which means I really want to be this way. And I do have a table that spins around, but I haven't got it with me at the moment. Oh, look, I don't know. Someone's asked if you can make, or Xenophire's asked, can I make a bigger version of that wine holder for more bottles? I don't know. I suppose you could, but I personally would prefer to put some bracing in it, because I think as you took the bottles out, it's going to change the forces and you could lose the lot. Clement on Twitch says, my chisels will be finally consistent. They will, providing you use the same setting. Hey Hey Steve, Marcella on YouTube. Hey Steve, do you have any tips to figure out if a square is really square without any extra tools? I'm asking because I just bought one and it doesn't seem... Yeah mate, I'll do that right now for you if you like. Get a square edge of timber, like that. And, oh, this is ridiculous. Where's my pencils gone? Oh, here we go. Let me just move this off to one side so you can see. So you get a square like that. You square a known square piece of timber, put your square on it, draw a pencil line down like that, then flip your square over and draw a pencil line in the same spot. And if they line up like that, your square is square. If they end up, this is going to be exaggerated, but if they end up like that, your square's out of square. And that's one thing I love about Colin Clinton squares. If they are out of squares, I've got screws here that I can adjust to bring that back into square. So I hope that helped you out, Marcelo. That's how your chest of a square is square. Oh, now. Okay, let's get a knife. Knife from the kitchen. Not very sharp. In fact, I can do that on my thumb. Nothing's going to happen. I haven't done this one live before, so could be interesting. I use this knife jig here. There's two that they make. That's mainly for long, flexible knives, and that's for rigid sort of knives. And we'll put that in there. What I'm trying to do is get the knife blade reasonably parallel. This part here is parallel as close as I can with that. Then you tighten up this top screw which clamps it, and on these I want about 20 degrees either side, which will give me a cutting edge of 40 degrees. And where's that? Oh dear. I don't know where I've put it, so I won't use it. What? Well, you tell them, Bob. So what I want to do is get this angle master thing, set it to 20 degrees. I have it set for 25 degrees normally for chisels, but I've just set that up to 20 degrees there for the knife. And it's got handy little grooves in here so you can actually put your knife in there to work out what angle you need. And this one will do 20, seems just fine there. This goes up against there. Put that there. Geez, I'll tell you what, I might have scored there, nearly. Okay, it's got to come up a little bit. Riddler Man, welcome to the workshop. And then I've got a micro adjustment here on this screw top. So I want to bring it up a little, which means I'm going to have to screw that in. And that's about where I want it. So both sides are going to be the same angle. So I'm going to do this side, then I'm going to do this side. Normally I'd like to be standing, actually I've got a stool over there. I like to be standing a lot higher when I'm doing knives because I can see what's going on. Big Harley Davidson going down the backyard. So I'll put this stool down there. You can't see me, but I can see what I'm doing. And that's it. Just a couple of runs like this. And the other way. And I'm actually lifting the handle. I'm not turning this handle. I'm lifting the handle on the knife itself. And we'll go one more this side. And one this. And you can see it didn't take very much at all to do that. Now I'll spin it around and I'll just clean it up on the leather wheel. Take the water off. This is a honing compound they give you with the machines. Yeah. And all I'm doing now is just basically taking the burr that was on there off on both sides. And one more for luck. And I'm not going to rub my thumb over that, because I think you'll agree that's a lot sharper than it was. Sharp enough for our kitchen anyway. Not as sharp as my tools, but you can get it that sharp if you want. And so that's pretty reasonable. So I've got to do the rest of those knives, but I won't do it now because you've seen how to do it. Much the same with a chisel. This is I don't know if we can do this one. I'll see. This is the one that Theo, I don't know if you were watching last Saturday, but Theo had a crack at using it as a wood turning chisel. And, well, needless to say, it wasn't very successful. So we've decided we're not going to be doing that again. But he did absolutely crucify the chisel. So we'll see. If we can do it. I was actually talking to the people at Tormick through the week, and whoops, wrong way. I put an order in for a new stone, and the guy that is their Australian demonstrator, I've asked him if he can come out at some stage and maybe share a stream, and he'll come on and you can ask him any questions that you might have about them. So that could be something coming up in the next few weeks or so. Okay, I don't know how long this one's going to take, but if you saw Theo when he jammed this thing, it had a burr on it. There's nothing. Had a big burr on it. So we'll try and clean it up. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I want to get back to making other stuff. Let me get that in there. That was my fault, I didn't tighten it up. Because I was talking. Okay, all right, let me pay you some attention. White fiddle, the timber in here, I've got no idea. It could be anything. Could be kauri pine, I think, or look, anything you've got. Even ordinary radiata pine is fine. Coachwood, maple, in a beech, anything. I prefer a softwood than a hardwood. Some people like hardwoods, like eucalypts and what have you. The only thing I find with hardwoods is you can get bad splinters, whereas you still get splinters out of pine, but it's not as bad. So I like soft jaws, and also it's more forgiving, because if you're putting softwood into hard jaws, sometimes you can get marks from the jaws, whereas if you put something into soft jaws, it's going to stay soft. It's much better. If Thor hit his thumb with a hammer, would he have a Thor thumb? Mate, Theo would love that. Mountain Man on YouTube. Yeah, Theo would love that. Dad jokes. Make a knife so sharp it could cut a tank in two. Well, it could, if you really wanted to. Marcelo, well, I'm pleased. Thanks for that. Have you ever made a lead wipe trowel? What's the best wood to use? Mate, never heard of what a lead wipe trowel would be. I don't know. I'll tell you what, the one that springs to mind would be lignum vitae. That could be all right. Oh, cheers! Thank you for the cheers. And look, if you follow me, if you subscribe, if you cheer, anything like that, and I don't respond, it's not because I don't appreciate it. It's just I can't see. I get no notifications from Twitch, YouTube, or Mixer. All I get is the chat room. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Master P. That would be kind of knife. That would be kind of knife. Okay. I'll work on that one, Roy. Is the jig necessary? Look, it is and it isn't. You could do it by hand, but the thing I like about the jig is the fact that it is consistent and I don't have to think. But yeah, in answer to your question, you could do it without a jig. Possibly not get exactly the same repeatable results, but yeah, you could use it with a jig. Excalibur. Yeah, hey, we should get an Excalibur jig. I'll talk to Tormik in Sweden. But I think there's only one Excalibur around, isn't there? My wife got my vote in council elections. We'll be back, mate. Oh, okay, Doc. I'll see you when you get back, mate. Panel beaters. Oh, I know what you mean. Yes. The funny shape things with a handle on them. I reckon coachwood would be good for that too. If you want some coachwood, I'll send you some down. Could you put a layer of cork on top of your wood jaw? Oh, yeah, you can, but I don't think it's necessary. If I'm doing a special job, sometimes I sit, I put these in, which are just sanding cork blocks, and if I've got something that needs them, I'll use these as jaws. But I wouldn't have it lined with cork all the time, just anything. Anyway, let's get onto this chisel. Look at the side view there. Oh, dear, dear. There we go. Oh, God, you can see my messy shed outside now. It is a mess out there too. Okay. So that was only a few turns on that. As I said, I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on it. And then you can, actually I'll do this one by hand. You can, if they were my good cabinetry chisels, I would take this jig out, put it in here, and then run it on this. Get this one happening there. There you go. Run it on this honing wheel, but seeing it's not a brilliant chisel, I'll just do this by hand. So just take that. You going, Bob? Take that burr off and then just go on the face a little bit. It's funny, you know, this is the first time I've done it without a jig for a long time, and I feel much safer with a jig. Okay, and that should do that because I'm over sharpening, and then I'll show you how to do it on a stone. Oh, what a mess. That's why I should have used the tray, hey? All right. So as you can see, it doesn't take very long, and then you got a chisel, and that was absolutely wrecked. I don't know if you watched it last week. Oh, that was funny. I hope he's not watching. Anyway, it's all good. Now, as I said, Theo's not here today. He's out doing a woodworking show in Melbourne. So if you're in Melbourne and you want to meet Theo, pop down to Working with Wood show. I think it's at a race course somewhere, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Lost feed, back again. Oh, that's good. How long did you lose it for? Oh, it's only a few seconds. Okay. The mess, oh, you can't see the real messy part. The real messy part's around the corner. It's funny, you know, I have so many great plans, and what is it, the best laid plans of mice and men, and I think, right, I'm going to do this, I'll do that, oh, I'll be so organised, and then the week just happens. I'm blaming that bug for biting me on the foot. That's why I'm behind this week. But the most important thing is we get things done, and I think if I can be the way I am, it gives hope for people that are more tidy than I am. All right. Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I did a picture frame for an embroidery that Susie did, and it looks a bit bland, so I thought I'd smarten it up a bit, and I'll show you a way you can make... Got some cappers happening there. There you go. Thanks, Master P. Yeah, you want me to do a stream of me tidying my shed? Is that what you're trying to say? Emma Meerful cap? Someone just said, I've got the messiest shed they've seen. It's not the messiest I've seen, but it's definitely messy. But you can't be creative, productive and tidy at the same time. That's my excuse anyway, I'm sticking to it. Yeah, so I thought what I'd do is what, Bob? You can come in if you want. Come on, what's the matter? All right, come on. Come on. You're around the other side. Bob, around the other side. Oh, look, he did come in. What have you been rolling in? Have a look at this. Oh, I've got to show you this. There, and then he wonders, stay there, mate. He wonders why he's not allowed in the house. Have a look. He's meant to be a white dog. Have a look at the colour. Where have you been? You've been rolling in something, haven't you? Bob, you've been rolling in something. Yeah, you just lie down there. We won't hassle you. No, we won't. Oh, that's me breakfast. I'm sure you don't want to see that. I nearly got it eaten. Bob wants to finish it, so I'll have a mouthful and then he can finish the rest. Anyway, I'll show you how to make something that looks, it looks nice, but how you can lift it with just a little bit of thought and make something that looks pretty nice to start with, even nicer. And in many times, you can get what I'm going to use for nothing if you live in an area where there's a cabinet shop, and they will maybe give it to you or go through their scrap bin. Oh, I've got some questions here. Wait a minute. Timber and Working Wood Show, Melbourne, 8 till 10 September. Caulfield Racecourse, thanks Tony, thanks Perfect Pens. Free parking, it might be free parking, but it does cost you to get in. Do I know of any streams for metalworking? I like to dabble in all materials. Xenophia, no I don't, but you let me know what sort of metalwork you like. And I've got some friends coming in that are tool makers. And if you've got any questions, I'm sure they'll answer them. That's coming later on in the month. But as far as streams and straight metalwork, no, sorry, I don't. What got you started with knives? Sharpening knives. It's called a wife. She wanted stuff in the kitchen sharpened. And that was part of the trade-off with me having a workshop in the house, that if anything needs fixing in the house, I have to do that first. So there you go, it works, it works. I'm sure if there's a right place to ask, but consider you're probably very experienced with both woodworking and sharpening knives. How do I best dispose of a body discreetly? Don't know, tough one. Never had to before. I think Bob would most likely be the answer to that. Roy said g'day, Bob. No, Bob's left, mate. He's taken his dirt and left. Remind me of my mother dog where they came to visit. They would roll all over the dirt outside to the point where they go being from white to... Yeah, honestly, Ray's just said that his mother's dogs used to do the same thing. And the look you get when you don't let him in the house, he said, well, what's wrong? I just had a day in the yard. Well, why can't I do that? Oh, it's even worse when he finds dead things. Oh, like he gets possums and fruit bats and what have you, and he hides them until they're really, really rank, and then he, rolls in them. Deceased number 5 instead of Chanel number 5. Phil, mate, you're show the love. Yes. If there's a mess, Phil on YouTube said there's a mess. It means I'm busy making stuff. There. I don't know if it's that or I'm just too lazy. Do you live by a hog farm? No, I don't. Oh, no, that's answering another question, sorry. Oh dear, where are we up to? How about making a meat tenderising mallet? Yeah, can do that easy peasy. In fact, I'll get Theo to make... oh! No, I might do it. I could do it to that one, but I might get Theo to turn one next week when he's here. If not, I'll make a square one. I've got enough stuff to keep me going today, but remind me next week, James, and I'll make a meat tenderising mallet for you. It's really easy to do. If I can find... That's too big. Basically, all you need is a square of wood. This one's maybe too big. Am I looking at the wrong camera again? This one's too big, but then score lines down here with a knife, and up there with a knife, and then with a chisel at an angle, just hold it at 45 and go up both sides at 45. And if you do that all the way down there and coming back this way, that will give you that texture you need for smacking, tenderising meat. What's the name of the machine you used before buying the Tormek? Actually, it was a Tormek. I bought my first Tormek, which I showed people on Wednesday, in I think it was 1990 or 1989, something like that. It was a 1200. Another machine I do have for doing planer blades, which you can do planer blades on the Tormek, but it's a, actually I'll show you. Here we go. It's the Makita. I don't know the number of it, but it is, there you go. Don't know if you can see that. I'll just go and see if you can see that. Yep, that's it. And it's a water stone as well. It's a flat grind, and the one next to it is the first Tormek I ever bought 27 odd years ago. That's my sharpening station over there, and up on the walls all the other Tormek jigs and planer blade holders and whetstones and diamond stones and everything else with the water above it. Unfortunately, those, I don't know why, but they stopped bringing that Makita into Australia. I know it's still available in the States, and it is an absolutely brilliant machine for flat grinds, flattening the back of chisels and what have you. So there we go. Yeah, Ray, my wife doesn't like Bob inside, but hey, you guessed it, he still comes inside. Yeah, mountain woodworks. I'll tell you what, I'll show you, that's a good idea. I'll show you how to sharpen a spoke shave blade with a stone in a minute. Jared, do you have any corrugated planes? What do you think of them? I bought a Bailey number 5 the other day for $10. Mate, if it was corrugated for $10, it was a bargain. That's the only corrugated plane I have now, which is a Stanley number 5. I have said many times before, I don't particularly like using corrugated. For no other reason, personal choice. It's the way I plane with use my fingers, and I find the corrugations give me false readings of what I'm doing. But hey, they're good, and if you like them, there's nothing wrong with them. I did have nearly a full set. I had a 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 7 and an 8. I didn't have a 6, but they've all since gone. For $10, Jared, honestly, phew, good deal. Wow, that sounds a bit serious there. Ephemera he's in the path of Irma, the hurricane that's currently going across the States, and he's not sure how long it'll get there, probably 45 minutes. Mate, stay safe, God bless, and I hope everything's all right and you come through it without any loss of property or friends or dignity or anything that can happen in those things of nature. You take care and we'll see you. Go for shelter now, I would say. Could you have your friends do a segment on what identifies the different metal by looking at scrap pieces? I will ask them. I've just had a question from a fellow or person on Twitch, Jennifer, who wants to know about metalwork and how you can identify different metals. I know I was out at a chisel maker's on Thursday, the guy who makes my chisels, and yeah, he can. Like, I can look at a bit of timber and tell you what it is, and he'll look at it and say, oh no, that's carbon steel, no, it's high-speed steel, oh no, that's P11 or M2 or whatever. So I will endeavour to do that for you, my friend. Yeah, it's called craft disease, James. All right, so how can we make this look a lot nicer? What I thought I would do, this is it. I should get a bit of stuff that I can put on the back. Wait a minute, I'll just grab a bit of MDF if I've got some here. Did I say MDF, Theo? Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, that's not quite wide enough, but it will do. It will do for the purpose of the exercise. I'll leave that there because I'll remember to do that then. Okay, so that's what I've got at the moment. We made the frame a couple of weeks ago and it just looks, I don't know, a bit boring. So I want to put another border on the inside, and if somebody, I forget who it was, or I'll give you credit, said you shouldn't have embroidery touching glass. So I'm going to make a frame up that's going to clean, that's going to take away that white edge and also leave a gap between the embroidery and the glass. And what I'm going to use is some veneer, which I think this is quite nice. Now there's a couple of ways we can do it. You can do it a very plain way and just cut a square out, or you can do it a little bit fancier, which I'm attempting to do. That ain't living. Welcome to the workshop, mate. Thank you so much. Grab a seat by the bench. What do they say? Buckle up, hold on, and whatever, and you're in for a ride. No, we're just doing all sorts of weird stuff at the moment, which is all good fun. Grinding sparks will identify metals in certain degrees. Well, there you go, Philip. I didn't know that. Thank you. I hope that's of some help. Philip on YouTube just answered that question. Zedafir, if you like, you can tell different metals by the sparks they give off. Yeah, well, it'll be in the feed, and if I can remember, I'll clip it for you. There you go. What's something you're most proud of that you've made? Just about everything, I think. I think the biggest job that I did, I was very proud of. It was a conference table to sit 70 people. That would have been the biggest job. And then I did an Arthurian dining room suite, which was thrones and benches and a great big long eating table, which I was proud of. The plate rack I made, which is on a YouTube video, I was pretty happy with that. I think most things I am because of the sheer fact that you've made it. Oh dear, okay, so what I want to do here is measure this gap in here. Which is, we'll say 28. 28's close enough. And the gap within the frame to where I want it to go on the embroidery. Okay. So I'm thinking if I go 30 mil, I'll go 25 mil. Okay, I'm going to come in 25 mil, and on that I've got to add the thickness of this. So it's 25, that's 10. So at 35 mil, I've got to have a rectangle 35 mil wide. So we might just do that on the back. This has actually been glued onto the back of cardboard. Oh. So I'll just cut this to shape and clean it up. And a lot of times, this bit I've got here, it was just scrap. And it was in the throw out part of a joinery shop I was at. And I used to get a lot of stuff from them. And literally it used to cost me a carton of beer every 2 weeks. Because it meant nothing to them because it was rubbish. And I'd be taking it away, but they appreciated the fact that when they knocked off, they could have a drink. Okay, so we're going 28 mil in. Where is that pencil? Here's the pencil. The 28 there. There, and we'll go 28 there. Now the height that I actually want is 33. So if I join these ones up, that to me doesn't look straight. 28. 28, well, it is straight. It didn't look it to me. If you make 3 marks and they all line up, they've got to be right. And what did I say? 33 long. Well, I don't want that rubbish there. So I'll cut that off. And cut that off there. Hi, Dr. Crazy from Germany. How are you? Welcome to the workshop and welcome to the bench. What we're doing at the moment is just making an insert frame for a, what do they call it? Mat boards, I think picture framers call it. For an embroidery my wife did, which we made the frame a few Mondays ago. Okay. Now, if that is equal, this square should fit in there quite nicely. That's pretty good. And that's pretty good, so that's got to be square, doesn't it? There we go. As with all veneer, when you're cutting it, don't rush it. Just take your time. This stuff you can actually cut with scissors, but I'll use a knife. And as I said before, thank you for everyone that's followed. Everyone that's subscribed, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate it if you did, if you like what we do. If you've subbed or sent bits or cheers on Twitch, thank you so much. And the reason I can't respond straight away is because I don't get to see what's happening in all those different platforms, because at the moment I'm restreaming through Restream to Twitch, Mixer and YouTube all together. And it's really nice to have such a great mix of people joining me in the shed. Okay, that's what I want to work with. I'll just put this to one side or put it back in the bin from whence it came. No, it's not going to sit there. I'll put it over here. Oh, poor old Theo's lathe. It looks all lonely over there. I'm hoping. Okay. So that fits in there nicely like that. Now, what we're going to do is, as I said, there's two ways we can do this. One way is you can cut a square out of there, and that will then give you a nice mat board to go around that. But I want to do something slightly different. So what did I say? I was coming in 33 mil. All right, bear that in mind. G'day, Damien. How are you, mate? Welcome to the workshop. Let me see. Dr. Crazy said g'day to you. Hi, you are awesome. Siros, I think you're awesome too for tuning in and spending your time with me. Thank you so much. Beer economy is what's keeping us. Ain't that living? That is so true. You used to be able to get so much done just for a beer. Oh, hang on, I'll need that again, so I won't throw that away. And I think it's not even the beer, it's the fact that you've thought enough of someone to give them a token of your appreciation for whatever it is they've done for you. I remember I did a job, I had a client once, and I did a lot, and I mean a lot of work. And they asked me to come and do another job, and I said, yeah, we'll do that. And they said, what will you charge me? And because they had been excellent clients, I said, oh, a packet of biscuits. And when I went to do the job, I said, have you got the chocolate biscuits? Oh, no, I didn't bother getting those. Guess what? I did the job and never went back. So I think if you're going to say you're going to do something, you've got to do it, or your credibility's out the window. Oh, I'm tired. 2:30, crazy, Dr. Crazy. Mate, perhaps you should go to sleep, but I appreciate the fact you're sitting up and watching me. I might give you sleepless nights. He's come back, he's even dirtier than he was. Oh dear. What are we going to do with you, fella? Look at that. That is just, he's been somewhere. But he's tuckered. I've heard him barking, so he must be out chasing things. He's got a nice lot of room to run around in, so that's good. There we go on a close up there, that's good. Okay. Is this what I call furniture? It's not IKEA mass production crap. This is made with love. Mate, you are so right. And I got asked earlier on by somebody what were the pieces, and I'm presuming they meant furniture pieces because I'm extremely proud of my children, that I haven't enjoyed doing are ones that I know I've been manipulated on the price, or it's a piece I don't particularly want to make and I have to follow a plan. I don't enjoy those. I enjoy those where you've got a certain amount of creative input, but you can put passion, you can put love, you can put energy into the job, and it seems to show through. I had somebody once, years ago, I used to do exhibitions, and they said, you know what, I can walk into an exhibition and pick your piece straight away. I said, why? She said, I don't know. Another client I had, a lovely lady. She was a patron of mine for about 15 years. And she used to call it the Stephen quotient. Don't forget the Stephen quotient. So obviously there's something that we have individually that we can put into jobs that make them a little bit special. What I'm doing here is just marking 35 mil all the way around, and then I'll show you two things you can do. Yeah, I just love building furniture. I don't like new age furniture, or what do they call it, studio furniture. I'm not a fan of that. I appreciate the fact that there's a lot of skill and I've got a lot of artistic energy goes into it. But for me, I think my preferred period of furniture is William and Mary's. Whoops, that's totally wrong. I shouldn't talk and measure at once, should I? William and Mary's a bit heavy. Rococo I don't particularly like. But I like the 1700s, you know, with the Sheraton, Hepplewhites, Duncan Fife, who was the other one? Sheraton, Hepplewhite, Chippendale, that's it. I think Chippendale and Hepplewhite would be my favourites. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just join these lines up. And just to make sure we're on the, whoops, went off the mark there. That is it, there you go, that's a prime example of why I put double-sided tape with 240 grit sandpaper on it. What happened there was I went offline, whereas here, I'm not going to go offline because that rule is not going to slip. Let me just come, of course you can't measure on the other side. That's why I've also got a metric one. Okay, now I'll just rub that mark out, because if I've got two marks, there's an 80% chance I'm going to pick the wrong one. And that's a combination of Murphy's Law and my luck. Now, where's that glass? Okay, now you can see if I cut that out, I can have a square border on there, and then the design will come through and it's got a nice border on it. But what I want to do, which is something a little bit different, because square gets a bit boring, is if you've got a carving chisel, and I don't really know which one I want to use. I think that one's got potential. Yeah, I think I might use that one. Let's see. No, we'll give that a go. Or we might try that one. Let me just get a bit of scrap and see if it's going to work. Where's that mallet Theo made me the other day? There we go. Okay, that'll do. I won't use a mallet. What I'm going to do is, with this carving chisel, I'm going to go around that line that I've drawn there, and then we'll get a different effect rather than just straight. Well, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do two. What's this one like? Okay. Let me just cut two, and then you can see the difference. It's all very well me saying this is what it's going to look like, but if you can actually see it, it's got more power, hasn't it? These little rubber mats I use underneath, gee whiz, they're good. You pick them up from dollar shops, and I think they're only $5 or $6 or something like that. And they save your bench, they save your knives. I'm just going to shut this door here. There we go. And on back. Okay. And then you can decide, when we've finished, you can decide which one you like best, and we'll have the usual number 1 and number 2. And that's what we will use. Okay. Oh. Well, I've lost my mouse. Reputation, mate, that's true. If you haven't got a reputation, well, if you've got a bad reputation, it will definitely precede you. But I think people have got to know, I had, actually I was quite flattered as a video that was made in the States tracing the Indian railway workers, sleeper workers or something. I must admit, I think they were Mojave Indian. I'm not 100% sure, but they wanted some music that I had. And I said, yeah, look, use it. It was a diddly bow thing, which I'm not going to play all of, but basically it was that one there that Justin did on one of my shows, and they said, can we use it? I said, yeah, not a problem. And I got a 15-page contract. They wanted me to sign so they could use my music. I just wrote back, I said, look, my word is my word. I said you can have it. I don't want any royalties. I don't want copyright. Let that be that. I'm not getting involved in contracts. And they just wrote back and went, oh, all right. So just, you know, what happened to when somebody would give you their word and it meant something? It's sad. Anyway, I'm starting to sound like that TV show, Grumpy Old Men, and I'm really not. But what I'm going to do here is I'll cut the middle out of this one, and then you can see how easy that is, and I'll show you the design we're going to do using a carving chisel, and you decide which you like. Yeah, it's a neat trick that, George. I use it on all my squares, or not all my squares, but a lot of the squares that I have. Because you can be out a little bit, and if you keep on duplicating that error, you get the compound effect, and you know, you can be out a lot. What's that? Theo be well into his demonstrations by now. All I'm doing is just drawing that square again. You want to go out, Bob? Oh, go on then, out you go. Go on, mate. I knew, I shut that door for a reason, I knew. I knew as soon as I would, you'd go. Go on, let's go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just going to cut this out. And again, that has got non-slip paper on it. And we just start there. Don't try and do it in one cut. It's going to take as long as it's going to take. You can hear it when it's all the way through. Now it's all the way through. There you go. Same on the bottom. Try not to go past the line because it will show through on the other side. Yeah, and that one's done. And up the sides. And obviously going with the grain is a lot easier to cut than going across grain. As I've said before, when I'm cutting, I actually turn the blade into the wall. Instead of going straight, I turn it in, and that gives me a much more controlled cut. All right, let's see how that looks. Whiz, whizzer, whizzer, whizzer. Get out of there. Okay, so that's just with a it's got to be in the middle though. There you go. That's just with a square cut, and yeah, it looks all right, but what I want to do is make it a little bit more spectacular. So that's what we'll do now. So that's how you can really brighten something up though, just a bit of veneer and cut a square out. So we'll work on the other one now. As soon as I have a chat. And that, great piece you can save for later on and do something else with. Okay. Greetings, Chris from South Carolina. Your pup is like mine, what a pest. But I wouldn't be without him, mate. I really wouldn't. He's lovely. Oh, dear. I got the herps. Well, there you go. Welcome to the workshop. This is the man. Where? No, Theo's not here. Mate, I thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me and investing your time in spending time in the shed. What do I think of convertible furniture? It gets really handy in little spaces. Look, there's a lot I've seen on Facebook recently, and it's very clever, and I think it's very clever. Whether or not I personally like it, I can see the work that's gone into it, I can see the effect it has, but a lot of it I don't like again. For multi-purpose furniture, yeah, look, the old-fashioned, what is it, not demi-lune, forgotten. Is it a loo table? And it was popular in 1700s, and it was like a settle, like a seat, 2 or 3 seats with arms, and it had a back, and the back used to fold down, and you had a table, and then you'd fold it away when you'd finished with the table, and it became a settle or a sofa, a settee, and then the lid would lift up in that and you would have storage in, yeah, that stuff I love. And I think I would continue to make that. But the new stuff that's all fancy hinges and tricky fittings, great, it's got merit and I think it is very, very clever. But personally, I think it's not something I'd enjoy making. I think I'd get very bored with it after a while. Drop leaf tables, card tables, game tables from the 1800s. But yeah, I guess I'm just not a modern man when it comes to furniture. But there's some really great stuff out there. You wanted to build the frame for the longest time. This is Damien on YouTube. I wanted to build a frame for the longest time, which incidentally is how I found your channel, Room for Woodwork. Thank you. And I don't know much how to choose wood. Mate, the best wood to use is the wood you've got at hand. Truly. Let me know where you are and I'll tell you the type of wood I'd use depending on what country you're in and the accessibility. Love that slide guitar sound. That Dirty Blues cigar box. Yeah, that was Justin. It was a jewellery box that I made, and I've told the story many times. I gave it away a couple of months ago. There was a young fella and his dad did me a favour and his young fella was looking at it, so I said, mate, take it. And it was a jewellery box that had gone wrong and I literally stuck a stick on it, and I'd met Justin Johnson the day before and I said, mate, you could play anything. He said, you give me a box with a string on it, and he said, I'll play it. So I literally that night made this diddly bow, it's called, and met Justin at the TV studio the next day, and we put that down in one take. So it was good. Can you show your bench from? Yes, mate, Dr. Crazy. I'm showing that the first stream I do, and it was my intention before you got on, I said, to do this stream out of Room for Woodwork, but a lot of, or actually there's one extra piece of hardware I'm waiting to come so I can stream, and I didn't want to pull the hardware I've got down here because it means setting everything up, but I shall. I'll go all through my toolbox and show you the things that I've got. Gee, I've got a lot to do and I'm talking too much. I thought it was just personal and internet. No, mate, it's the way it is. Spine Ripper, welcome to the workshop. Oh, who was talking? That ain't living on Twitch. It was at the Perth Wood Show a few weeks back, and the Triton rep was bemoaning the new work centre, was doing a talk of the hexagonal box and talking my channel up. Well, there you go. My very first router table I made was a Triton workbench worktop. It was about 30 years ago. Oh, isn't that nice? Spine Ripper, thank you so much. So, yeah, I do think I've had David, the block printer, I think I've had him on this channel, which is really good. Mate, yeah, George, he's saying the sandpaper on the other side of the ruler and straight edge, good for metal work. Tilting, not great for glass. I do use it for cutting glass, the ruler, but if you're going to cut glass and you've got wet and dry, get some masking tape and put the masking tape down on the glass and then put this on top of that and you won't scratch your glass and it won't slip. Yeah, Anthony's coming up too in October. Anthony from Lee Nelson, Australia. Someone just mentioned they were at the Perth Wood Show and he was talking to Lee Nelson, Australia, which is Anthony, and he's going to come up and hopefully we're going to do a broadcast to stream next month. Damien, mate, depending on the print you're trying to make your picture frame out of, if you want a dark one, I'd go walnut. If you wanted a light one, I'd go cherry. But if you wanted to play around and not invest too much money in timber, Damien wants to build a timber frame for a picture, I would go poplar. But get some poplar. I had some poplar the other day and it looked like, we've got a timber here in Australia called Blackheart sassafras. And honestly, it was like Blackheart sassafras. It had this beautiful olive green, grey streak going through it. It was absolutely gorgeous. Dear, oh dear. So yeah, if you can get some of that. Burgers are off. I don't know, have you got your glasses? Anyway, let's go. All right, so we're back on this, and what I'm going to use is a carving chisel, and I think I'll use a 7. Now, the difference in these, when you see a carving chisel and it's got 516 on it, or 714, or whatever numbers, that gives you, the last number gives you the width, so that's 14 wide, and that's 16 wide, so that blade is 2 mil wider than that blade. And then the first number, the 7, or the 5, or the 3, or the 2, or the 9, is the actual sweep, which is this curved part here. So if you get a 9, to give you an idea, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, that was old man noise. Where's Theo? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a that's a 9 sweep, and as you can tell, it's fairly aggressive, and that's an inch from there to there. This is one I used to use when I was making rocking horses, and that's a 130. That means it's 30 mil wide, and 1 is dead flat. And that's a 220. That's got a very shallow sweep in it. That's a number 2, and it's 20 mil wide. Number 2s I use almost exclusively when I'm doing claw and ball feet on legs, which we've got a coffee table to start doing on Woodworking Masterclass on Monday soon, and it won't be this week, but I'll start making claw and ball feet with that. Damien, thanks, Philip. Do I get one piece? Or, oh, okay. So all I'm going to do is, with what I've drawn here, is going around the edge, and I'm going to keep the 2 points of the chisel on the line. I'm going to do 2 corner pieces first. So I'll go there. That's not coming all the way through. Where's Theo's mallet? Doesn't matter, I'll use the little one. And I'll just rock it from side to side, or give it a little bit of a tap like that. So I might just touch this up on the wheel whilst we're talking. Hello, darling.
Hello, sweetie.
Got another parcel for me?
No. Just some information as to who Berserk is.
Oh, who?
Called you a handsome devil.
Who's that?
Stay
Oh, he's sad. That's it. Even guys think I'm handsome. All right. So now, on each corner, just giving that a little tap. So you don't need whacking great big hammers. And the reason I'm doing it on the corners first is so as, if I've got to make any adjustments, I make them in the length, and the corners are going to be pretty well spot on. And that's what the eye's going to pick up. There we go. Whoops. Okay, so all 4 of those. Now, which way will I go? Actually, I could do it. I can do it 2 ways. Could do that, I suppose, couldn't I? I can either go all the way around with the same bit, which will give me a nice scallopy effect. In fact, I think I might do that. And it's going to be quicker. But I'll show you on a piece of paper something else you could do which would give it a little bit more pizzazz if you chose. Now instead of going all the way up, I'm going to start at the top, go from this end to nearly the middle, this end nearly the middle, and then if I've got to make any adjustments, I can do it just off the middle and you won't notice it, or it won't be as noticeable as if, okay, so here we're a little bit out. So all I'm going to do there is just do that. And the eye won't pick it up. Looking to renovate a canal boat in a few years. This is awesome. Oh, thanks, everyone dies alone. Hey, how you doing, you handsome man? Devon, 3717. I'm doing extraordinarily well. I think my ego just picked up. But I think you should go to Specsavers. And this, I can tell you I've never done this one before, but hey, you gotta try new stuff. I love a comment I got a few streams ago. Someone said, I love watching you, bloopers and all. Yeah, well, they're not designed. They're a part of life. Okay, so where are we going? We're nearly there. Okay, here, I don't know if you can notice, but I've come, the arch finishes here and starts here, and that is bigger than the blade. So all I'm going to do is, sorry, smaller than the blade. I'm just going to bridge the two. So I still got to get a cut in there. It's slightly different diameter, but honestly the eye just won't pick it up. You could do this with an ordinary cabinet chisel, and you could do pyramids. If you've got a chair gouge, you could do it with that. Just makes things look a little bit different. And that's what we strive for, to be different. So does that make us all the same if we all want to be different? Okay. And nearly all through. Just give these a little... You don't force it when you come to take it out. If it's still a little bit stuck, just give it a little gentle tap again. Just got to go down this side and we're done. And it pays, this little mallet here. I don't know, Theo might have made that one too. I don't know. Or it might be one I made. Might be one I made because it's a bit ordinary. It's good to have different size mallets for different jobs, because there's no point, that mallet we made, where'd that big thumper go? Oh yeah, this one. I mean, this one would work, but really for the the job that I'm doing, it's a bit of an overkill. So I just like the smaller one. And we're nearly finished. And I've just been told I've got to go to the shopping centre when we leave here, which is good because they have a chocolateria at the shopping centre. And they make absolutely the best hot chocolate I've ever had. See how that's coming away quite nicely there? And she's just a little bit stuck. There we go. Let's free that one up. I just realised I was going to use the 7 and I've used the 5, so the sweep isn't as big, but it doesn't matter. It will still look good. There we go. So this one we'll put in and see how she looks. And then you decide which one you want. Blow that off. And that you can keep for another time. And that's it with a serrated edge, which you might see better from there. See how that serrated edge, just trying to get the camera light out of the way. Well, the serrated edge just gives it a little bit more pizzazz. But anyway, I'll put that, that's number 1, all right? I'll put the other one back in. And then you decide which one you prefer. Okay, that's number, there we go. That's number 2. So do you prefer number 1 or number 2? I know which one I prefer. All right, so that's how you can pretty up picture frames, or you know, you can buy an old picture frame or a picture from a second-hand place or a flea market and then just do that to it, and it makes it so much different. Oh, now let me see. Yeah, the spine ripper, that thing there, it's an Elgato Stream Deck, and they are absolutely the bee's knees. It's got 15 buttons. But out of that 15 buttons, I've got 210 functions I can use. So I can go from different cameras, I can put in music, I can do ads, I can make the credits roll. When I get up and running, I'm going to have Bob Cam on there too, so we can go outside and see what Bob's getting up to, which is going to be fun. Let me see. There we go. What are we going to do now? Oh, a knife block. Better make a knife block, I suppose, eh? Separate pieces. Yep. That ain't living. It's that gorgeous beard, Steve. I had one for about 2 years. My fiance bought me $75 clipper, a $56 razor. Next minute, it's all Samson and the like. Mate, that's where the strength is. No, honestly, after I forget how many years of shaving, I just decided one day I wanted to spend an extra 10 minutes in bed and not have to shave, and that's it. I don't shave. Oh, I did take it off once, a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, and oh, no, I let it grow back. But yeah, that ain't living on Twitch is saying that his girlfriend bought him a razor and it was a Samson and Delilah effect. As soon as he shaved his beard off, he got an infected leg. He dropped something on his toe. He was sick for 3 days. Mate, no, you just keep the beard. Woodwork's beautiful. I agree with that. Oh, you had a Centuris this morning, Berserkoff. Good on you. You could have got me one. My favourite is their hot chocolate in the medium glass, and they give you these little blocks of chocolate and you drop them in. You don't need sugar. Oh, they're just to die for. In fact, the first time we went there, I took Susie and she had one of those Harry met Sally moments when she drank the hot chocolate. Oh dear, oh dear. Or mocha. Yeah, I love their mocha. That's nice too. What's this? Just dig around. But Doc, he just had to go and vote, and he said there's an hour of his life you won't get back. Yes, mate, but you won't get fined, so that's a good thing. Number one. Oh dear. Well, it looks like number one got it. It's much softer and easier on the eyes. It's true. And I prefer it, and it's different. And look, it wasn't measured. I measured the outside, and even then, as I said, I used the wrong chisel. So who cares? Who cares? What is the stuff that you make? Mate, anything. Ben, welcome to the workshop. On Mondays, I do a stream where I'm concentrating mainly on furniture. Saturday mornings are just fun. It's just mayhem. It's whatever pops up, whatever we decide to do. And then Thursday, I'm going to be streaming from a workshop I've got in the corner of my bedroom, and there I'm making furniture. But it's all traditional. Oh, I won't say it's all going to be fine furniture, but it'll be stuff that you could use around the house. And, oh, that was what I was going to do too. All right, let me see. See what, I was going to make a cheese platter. I'll do some rounding. What do you want? Do you want me to hand plane and make a cheese platter, or do you want me to use a router and cut out a knife block? 1 for the cheese platter, 2 for the knife block. We'll see what happens. Well, that ain't living. There you go. Yeah, modern, he's asking, I remember you mentioned a vid you did somewhere. What is the measurement? Antique furniture thickness is generally 7/8 or 22 mil. I've forgotten what one was now. Was one the cheese board or the router? Oh dear, oh dear. A lot of furniture now is actually 18 mil, which is even smaller than 3/4. So yeah, 22 mil. 182 cheese board. All right, let's go. Yeah, we'll do. No, listen, Burkoff, you can come up and make your own. Don't give me a hard time. You look swish with your haircut. You're about ready for TV. I'm not sure if I should eat this now. It's got a skin on it. Oh, hang on. Look who just walked in. Mud guts. All right. I'll make cheese board. Ah. Now I'm going to get the mankiest, rattiest bit of timber I can find, and we'll make something nice out of it. In the meantime, Bob can finish me breakfast off. All right. Ah! Are you finished, Bozo? Right? Now leave that on there because that white stuff's meant to stay there. It's called the plate. All right? You're a good lad. Don't let Mum see you do that because she gets a bit funny, doesn't she? Hey, got to have a sense of humour if you've got a dog. What did he do yesterday? He did something she didn't appreciate. Oh dear, oh dear. All right, I've just been out in my timber pile. And there's two manky old bits of timber that really you would throw away. Nothing to write home about to Mother at all. But I will show you the plethora of treasures that lie beneath what you would walk past and go, ugh, don't think much of that. So we'll make a little cheese board out of one bit, and then we'll make a platter out of the other, providing I've still got the energy to do the planing. Oh, I don't know if I'll need that, won't need that. Yeah, Bob Cam's coming, Clement. He doesn't like the harness on him. It's just one of those things. How bad's that? All right. I'll do this one first, and then we'll do the big one. Or should I do the little one first and then the big one? Don't know. I'll do this little one first. And then that'll get me in the mood for doing the big one. There's the knife block we've got to do. I've got a coat rack I've got to do. All happening. Where are those? Yeah, these are the little knobs. Well, actually, story to this. They're the little knobs that I've made yesterday for the coat rack. And as I said, I was going to do that in Room for Woodwork, but I'll share that little story with you later on. Right now I'm looking at this and thinking, what do I need? Okay, we'll take the, whatever that is, bark off. And might leave that natural edge, it's quite nice. And that's pretty darn straight actually. Okay, I've got a wire brush or something here. Oh, let me have a look. Oh, I do too. Gee whiz, what a bonus. I can actually find something I want. So I'm just going to clean this muck off of here, which is just dirt and whatever. This has literally been out in my yard. This is the pile that the brown snake lives underneath. And you can tell it's had ants and all sorts of rubbish growing on it. I wonder how that's going to work. There we go. That's come up all right. All right, so I'll leave those for Ron. I'll use the H&T Gordon, and that's an unashamed plug for H&T Gordon. The end vise, because I can't hold that in the normal vise. So let's just see how we're going here. Can you see that tail vise? Oh, actually, yeah, we can do that with this one, can't we? Oh, look at that. Look at that. What a champion. I'm impressed. Okay. Well, you can have all three then. Let me move this. That ain't living on Twitch is saying we've got some really nice curly Jarrah off-cut floorboards from a house demo. Oh, mate, worth a fortune. Do something nice with it. I love Jarrah. As I said, I think it was last week, I found about nearly a metre of it in, oh no, half a metre I think, in my timber shed that I didn't even know I had. I'm just trying to work out a way of chocking this. Now I'm not even going to, that's got not square things there. You see it's on an angle, and that's actually chainsaw cuts from when we cut it out in the bush. So I might clean that up a little bit, but basically not much. Check which way the grain's going, and okay, it's a little bit high this way, so we'll flatten this side off first. Okay. We'll just see. Just see what it looks like first. I'll use a Stanley. I'll most likely go with the H&Ts later on. Now it's a good idea if you pick up a heap of rubbish like this. Just, you can see that dust coming off. That's dirt and grit, and that is no good for your plane blades at all. So that's just a cheap little wire brush that I've bought. Use that, clean that off, and we'll start skimming it and see how good. Yeah, make some boards out of that Jarrah. That'll be lovely. Black Rainbow, welcome to the workshop, mate. Laurie, not Laurie, but Paulie. What brand are your chisels? They're beautiful. Oh, Paulie, which ones? You mean these ones here? Whoop, where are we? These ones. That's the brand. See if I can get them to you. That's the brand there. Harold and Saxon, made in Australia. They are absolutely extraordinary chisels, you're right. They're a pleasure to use. Yeah, George, all the best, mate. Thank you so much. You've made my day. I'm going to wear it when I do the routering. We'll talk on the phone, but mate, extraordinary, your tops. And I hope some people on the stream like. Well, for those of you that missed it, George is the Commander-in-Chief, the CEO and Chief Trash Taker outerer of these. I'm trying to work out what camera I'm on now. This product here, Reptilia, eye muffs. They're eye muffs and eye protection and ears in once. And because I wear a camo apron, I just got these this morning while we were actually streaming. The messenger brought them in for me, and that's the latest. They're called the G6. And yeah, when I'm on the router, I'll be using them. Oh, God, they are so good. Oh, I might wear them tonight, see if I can cancel out the wife's snoring. That'll be good value. I hope you're not watching, darling. I love you. Okay, so have a good weekend, George. Catch you later. Thank you again. There's that NBN. Oh, mate, it's coming in and out on you. Okay, let's go. Chopping board, This is going to be a little cheese board. This is just one that you can have if you're going to just, you sit down, you lay some Jats biscuits down there, a few squares of cheese, sit down by the TV, and then the bigger one will be one that you have if got people around or something like that. Oh, geez, miles too much blade there. What's going on? Ricardo, some unkind people said it was messy. I think they're spot on. It is. And the thing I did on Wednesday, I think it was Kim or Alex wanted to know how to set up a number 4, and I showed them. And then I was doing this across the board and made the comment that so many people are scared to run a hand plane over a finished board. Whereas if your hand plane's tuned well enough, it should not be an issue. Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit of cranky grain tear out there. Oh, I wish you could smell this. Oh, it takes me out west. That's, where are we? That's what it started out as. That's what it's starting to look like now. So it's just, you wouldn't know that that was underneath that. But what I'm going to do, because I'm starting to get a little bit of tear out, a little bit of cranky grain happening there, I'm going to switch over to an H&T Gordon plane. The main reason is, with them, I can go either way. I can go with the grain or against the grain, and I won't get tear out. I'm just going to put a little bit of raw linseed on the sole of this. You might have noticed on the metal plane I used candle wax, which is just an old piece of candle. But I prefer on the wooden planes to use linseed oil. And that's how that's looking now. So I'll just do the same to the back. Clean it off with a steel brush. Look, if you've got a grinding wheel, which I might do on this bigger one I've got here to do, with a wire wheel on it, remember to wear safety glasses, but it works pretty well. The other thing I've played around with is bead blasting to remove grit and sap and sorry, Bob, did I wake you? Where did I put that stuff? So you don't need a big workshop. You don't need heaps of tools. My workshop isn't very big at all. And yes, I do have a lot of tools, but that's not because I need them. It's generally because I want them. So where are we up to? Theo reckons I breathe too heavily when I've been planing. The reason for that is because it takes it out of you. The temptation when you're doing a job like this is to make the blade a little bit deeper. Really, it's counterproductive because then you're going to get more tear out. There we go. And that one is slightly deeper, but I'm not going to change the adjustment on this one. I'm happy with that. And just on this edge here, I'm getting a bit of tear out. So turn the blade around and we'll fix that. Now where this edge is, I'll put that in this vise. You can see how easy you can make stuff though. There you go. I could use this plane, doesn't matter. Whoops. And I didn't follow my own advice. Great demonstration once again. Put that in the vise. That handle is at 6 o'clock. And if I push down, see how easily that slips? But this is just plain old water, nothing flash. Squirt that into your wooden jaws. That now is at 6 o'clock still. And you can see I can push down on that hard. See, you can even see my knuckles going white and it won't move. That's because the water swells the timber in the jaws and also the piece that's in there and acts as a extra locking agent. Now we'll just clean up these ends. There's a block plane. If you're going to use a block plane, get one with an adjustable mouth. Where are we? Here we go. And this one is a Rolls Royce as far as block planes go. But the normal Stanleys are fine. And make sure you've got a very fine mouth when you're doing end grain. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. All right, and I'll remember to turn the music off this time. How's that? That better? Yep, you got Steve now. I was meant to, I think I said at the beginning of the stream, I've got to check the batteries in about an hour. So there you go. It's all good. Thanks for letting me know, people. So what I said, I don't know how much you got. I'm going to do this side here. That's right. I'm going to do this side here with a spoke shave because I like that natural look, and it's got a big split in here which really I'm not too fussed about, and I'll fix that in a tick. But what I'm going to do is use a spoke shave to clean this up so I can maintain the natural edge. Again, take the sharpness off. And that we'll do with a metal, put my knife away. I'm pleased we're back. Full Life Rebel, do I have a favourite store where I buy my tools? No, not really. It depends what I want. H&T Gordon have got a factory, so I like going there. No, I don't know. I don't have a favourite store, I don't think. So what I'm going to do, so I'll show you two ways. I'll do this with a brush. In fact, I'll show you one way, because the other one, I don't know if it's going to work. But this steel brush is pretty good. Or as I said, you could use a wire wheel if you've got a grinder with a wire wheel. And I'm just going to round over this edge. Okay, so there we have a nice smooth. This one coming around here a bit better. There we go. A nice smooth little individual cheese board, but wait, there's more. And then to make it look good, I've got this stuff. These guys sent me up some to use. If I can find, just looking for a piece of rag. There you go. And they said if I like it, could I give them a plug? And I do like it, so I'll give them a plug. Oh. Dear, oh dear. Where'd my knife go? You could put ordinary oil on it, any edible oil, olive oil or what have you, but this stuff here, we get it in there, what's it called? Mind Your Beeswax. And it honestly, you smell it, oh, you'd smell it with a spoon. Yeah, have a sniff of that. Oh, don't that smell good? Yeah, get that into you. Mind Your Beeswax. They're a mob in Adelaide, in South Australia, and I'm going to put some on here, and you just look at the difference it makes. And the feel of it, and it's totally food safe, and it smells of honey. It is just glorious. I think they've got a website, Mind Your Beeswax. Now that split that's in there, I should have done it before I did this, but it doesn't matter. I will separate, put a chisel in there, pull it apart, and then just tip some CA glue or something in there, or hide glue or something, and let that, take the chisel out then obviously, let it dry, and that will seal it up. If there's anything left, as far as a gap or something goes, I just fill that with wax. But there you go. Oh. And honestly, if you're into crafts, you go to the markets, something like that, I reckon you easily get $15, $18, maybe $20, I don't know. But it takes no time to make, and it's something that, you know, you look, where we live, they're doing a lot of road works, and all the timber down by the side of the trees down by the side of the road that they're cutting. You know, it's just going to get burnt. Whereas if you see a nice one, see if you can grab a lump, you've got to cut it and dry it. But then you end up with beautiful timber that no one else has got, and you can make individual things. Okay, now that big one, that was a teaser, just to see if I could do it. Am I a maths teacher? No, I'm hopeless at maths. I'm a woodworker by choice. There you go. What type of timber, Kim? That is what they call false. Get over there. That's false sandalwood. It's a very, very slow growing hardwood tree from semi-desert regions, but it is gorgeous. Always find more tools. Oh, I got way more tools than I need. Oh, there is, thank you. Ray's just put a link up on Twitter, and if you're interested in Mind Your Beeswax, it's facebook.com/mindyourbeeswax1/. James on YouTube, there was a discussion today on WoodNet that describes combining mineral oil and beeswax or paraffin as a cutting board. Well, there you go. That's exactly what that is. Mineral oil and beeswax. Suitable for serving platters, cheese boards, wooden toys, kitchen tables. Ingredients, mineral oil and beeswax. That's all the ingredients there is. Where did I find that? There you go, up the top. I don't know if you can read that or not, but mineral oil and beeswax. Cuddly play, Cuddles play. Woodworking Musk, hey man, hosted you a couple of hours ago. Love what you do and really know your craft. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it on both counts, but more so the host. I really am thankful for anyone that thinks enough of what I do to host me. And as I said, if you followed me on Twitch today, thank you so much. It's not that I can't acknowledge you straight away. It's just I actually can't because I can't see the notifications. If you've subbed, thanks so much for subscribing. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're on Mixer, I'm new to Mixer, so whatever needs to be done, if you could do that, that'd be great too. All right, let's move on to a slightly bigger platter that you could serve at the dining room table. Now this, and again, I haven't done this, literally, haven't done this before, but there's a manky old bit of maple that I've got a couple of pallet loads of offcuts like that out the back. So what we're going to do here is make a cheese platter with a handle that you can then carry the cheese board out. I don't know, I may use a bandsaw, but we'll see how we go, because I might just cut this bit out here. But first of all, we've got to flatten it and work out where we want that handle to go. So I'm thinking, where's the pencil? That's a nice place here to have the handle. So It's a bit of a natural handle happening there, so we'll cut that off there. So we've got that, and I think if we, there you go, we'll have that sort of happening like that, and the natural edge can be the natural edge, and we'll clean this one up, and then we'll clean up underneath. So all right, let's go. Horatio, let me just cut that end off there. Grab a saw. See, no special saw, no special clamps or anything. Now, I'm going to shoot this one flat to start with. Oh dear, this is a number 7. And we'll just get a nice edge on this. I'm hoping there's water left in the vise, there is. Okay, I've got a lot to take off there. So what I will do is I'll use this big behemoth of a thing here, which I hope is coarse set. I was using it the other day. This is going to be quicker. Oh. Oh, where's my hammer? A little bit too coarse, that one. And if you're still with me, I haven't forgotten about sharpening the blade. We'll give that a try. See if it's any better. That's a bit better. That's nearly there. Good to go. Okay. Brought it down to a manageable size now. Okay, what I thought was maple, I think is something else. I think it's maple silkwood. And I can see the colour in that. Now we'll see how straight it is. Okay. Not too sure how I'm going to hold this. But we'll give it a go. The thing is with doing anything like this, you just got to be adaptable and think on your feet. And I think this will hold it all right. We'll try. Oh, George from Buenos Aires, welcome. Do you think there's much money in woodcrafts? Short answer, no, I don't. I think you're much better off if you can find a client base or possibly a really good retail outlet that has the client base that appreciates handmade, locally made goods, then you've got a chance. But in all honesty, if you're competing with the dollar shops or the Woolworths or whatever cheap imports, yeah, it's not viable in my opinion, unless you have something that is really, really unique that no one else has got. So what I'm going to do here, because it's out a bit, I'm going to run a plane over it to start with just to see what high spots I've got. Difference between woodworking and carpentry. A woodworker is a very broad category, I think, Falstaffen, but I consider myself a furniture maker, and the difference between a furniture maker and a carpenter is huge. It could be argued that carpenters and furniture makers and wood turners are all woodworkers because we work with wood. But within woodworking, I think there's so many different classifications. You know, there's wood artists, there's sculptors, there's shop fitters, there are frame makers, there are box makers. So, yeah, carpentry is generally, and I'm not being derogatory to any chippies out there, which is colloquially what we call them in Australia, but they're not so much interested in the fine. It's more, even though it's precision made or your houses will fall down, it's the rough end of woodworking, whereas fine furniture and marquetry is the fine end of woodworking. Okay. All I'm doing here is trying to just see where the high spot is. And I know I've got a low spot down there. It's a low spot in there. What you normally, in fact I'll use it, what you use for flattening a board like this is what's called a scrub plane, which is this plane here, and it is a very, very severe blade, and that's what I'm going to do to hold this bit out. And I gave you the wrong shot there, so let me do this so you can see what's going on. All I did before with that other plane, when I didn't have the camera on there, did I turn that flipping music off? I hope so. I'm just gonna, no I did, no, please tell me I did. Oh, have I still got him? Oh, Jupiter, go away. I've got to remember to turn it off. Yeah, that should be a better angle, Ray. What I was doing that you couldn't see was that, because I wanted to find out where the high and low spots were. And if you look at that bit of board there, you can tell the high spots because that's where it's been planed, and the low spots is where it's rough sawn. So that's that there. So I might just put another clamp in there, I think. There we go. Now, hopefully, You're going to hold that nice and steady. So this hogging plane, this scrub plane, I'm going to clean out this surface with. In fact, we'll give you all you might see. You don't see so much of that. You'll see the big gouges that it leaves, and it's not pretty. It doesn't take very long, but that's taken all the nasty bits out, and now I've got something that I can work with. Now that is very, 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 very rough. You can see how coarse it is in there. The next plane I use is what I call a hogging plane. I don't know if it actually has a name, but it's not a scrub plane. It's a little bit less aggressive, and it's just one I've made myself out of an old number 4. That's an old number 4 footprint, and then I ground the blade with a bit of a radius on it, so I can then take out these horrible marks that the scrub plane left behind. Actually, just thinking if I change this around, we might be doing all right. Get out of there. There we go, okay. And you can tell even by the sound, it's not as nasty and as aggressive as the scrub plane, but the scrub plane lays the groundwork so we can get in there and get it down to a nice manageable finish. And I think number 4s are the most readily available planes on eBay or the other auction sites. I've got to go reasonably deep with this one because these marks here that the scrub plane actually did get a little bit vicious on. Okay, it's not too bad because we'll miss that one. Okay, what I'll do now is go over with a normal plane. No, don't want that one. Yeah, that one. And this is just basically flattening it out what this plane left behind. That one could need a bit of a sharpen. So, we'll use this one. I like that other one because it had a longer blade on it. Or wider blade. It's just, I was limited because I wanted to hold that somehow. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Oh well, we'll just persevere with this one then. Actually, I seem to be spending a lot of time planing this bit, which we don't want, so I might just go over to the bandsaw and cut that out there. That'll free us up. Go over to the bandsaw and we'll do that. Sorry for the flare. And that is one very dull bandsaw blade. But it did the job. That's all we had to get it to do. So there's the shape we've got now on the end. Now I can use this. What a bonus. There we go. I don't need this one anymore. Should have done that to start with, shouldn't I? That's better. Oh, actually, I'll use a bigger one. And then bring that up a bit. There we go, we have the technology. Oh, where are we up to? Hang on. I've been ignoring everyone, sorry. Yeah, it's this timber, Falstaffian. It's maple silkwood. And it's got a lot of high figure in it. Chiefy16, hi! Welcome to the workshop. If most of the wood you used imported, no, we have maple trees, but it's totally different maple to the maple you have in the US. In fact, I would say it used to be, because you can't get it anymore because they've locked all the leases down, but it used to be the #1 premium grade furniture making timber. I'm just fortunate to have a nice supply of it, but it's different to rock maple or sugar maple or maple over there. How much blades exposed on scrub plane? Oh, I don't know. TH, welcome TH. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but can you see that? There'd have to be. It's a good 1/8 of an inch hanging out, which is possibly a bit too much. I would have backed it down to maybe 3/16, something like that. But it does its job. That's what it's for. Yeah, Twitch has got a delay, and it's very confusing because normally I've got a monitor here that I can see what I'm doing, but now I'm going through OBS. There's a delay on OBS as well. Apparently there's no delay on Mixer, I'm told. You can do it, but you don't want to. Well, that's fine. Don't do it. You don't have to. TDPP, welcome to the workshop, mate. Good to have you here. If one were to purchase a few planes to get started, would you recommend a scrub plane, a #4, #5 scrub? No. Well, it depends what you want to do. If you want to make furniture and you wanted 3 planes, I would recommend a block plane, a #3. No, I wouldn't. A #3 or a 5 1/4 and a 7, because the 3 or the 5 1/4 is a great smoothing plane. My personal choice is a 5 1/4, but I know a lot of people that prefer 3s, and they're a narrower sole. So a good block plane, a #3 or a 5 1/4, and a #7, and you will build furniture to your heart's delight. Ray, yeah, definitely not a big fan of the #4s. I think because there are so many of them made, they made them as a DIY, as a plane for everyone, and unfortunately, in my humble opinion, they don't fit anything. They're great, yeah. Oh, I thought I had one of my grandkids calling them. They don't fulfil the bill for either. They're too heavy, I think, for a smoothing plane, and they're too short for a shooting plane, and they're too short for a jack plane, but they do make good hogging planes. I think I should hire Ray. Mate, I would, but he lives too far away. Yeah, Ray, go on eBay, mate. They're there. They're on eBay. Okay, let me see this. Oh, actually, what I'll do is I think this blade's a bit sharper. I'll just switch blades. And I lent my other H&T smoother to someone. I thought I won't need it till Monday. Guess what? I need it. Yeah, come in if you want. I'll have to clean this up on... No, actually what I'll do, I'll strop it, because the shooting plane is not all that brilliant either. What?
Sorry, Papa.
It's all right. What do you want done? This is one of my grandsons. Come and say hello to everyone. You're live.
Hi, everyone.
It's Anthony. Yes, my son. Grandson. What?
When you finish streaming...
He's making me feel short. Hey? Will you stop growing? Stop eating. What?
Can I get my tires refilled? I need the tires on...
Yeah, go and fire up. How's this? Fire up the compressor in your grandmother's shed. Only woman I know has got a compressor, 11 cubic foot compressor in the sewing room, and the tyre gauge is up there. Okay. So I think it's already plugged in. You just got to turn it on. Okay. If not, just ask Nan. Okay. Okay. Oh, you can't go out the other one. Are you going to have 5 minutes too? Ah, chicken! That's his mum. Oh dear. He just turned 13. I'd see what he's going to be like when he's 8. You know, he's a basketball player in the making. That might do. People ask me how difficult these H&T Gordons are to tune. Honestly, that's how difficult they're not. It's just whatever you get used to. This blade's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit coarse. A little bit. I can see this afternoon when I come back from having my chocolate, it's going to be sharpening time in the shed. Just a tad. Don't you hate that? Just a fraction more and everything's blown out of proportion. The other thing which I don't know if you did know with these planes, I mean they're a hefty blade on them. Now it's blade down like that to plane, but you can turn it around with the blade up and then you can use it as a scraper plane, which I used to use on high figured stuff, but now I've mastered how to use them in a passable sense. They work well. Now, an edge off of here. Oh, I might just use a spoke shave for that. I haven't still got music playing. Please tell me I don't have music playing. Good. I just got to check that. I've gone paranoid now. Now this natural edge, I want to keep that natural, but I want to take that sharpness off it at the same time. So I'll put that in the vise. And again with a spoke shave, spin this around and tilt it up. Just go along that natural edge. Now I'm going to follow the contours of that natural edge. I should really put some water in there. Whoop. And then the wire brush. So see, if you've got a wire wheel and a grinder, it will do the job a lot quicker. I don't think mine's plugged in. Well, which one is it? No, it's not. Or else I'd do it. And as I said, the other thing is if you've got a sandblaster, you can get some really interesting effects by blasting glass beads or garnet beads onto a natural edge. And it gives you a really nice textural finish. Now I know I've got to do the underside of this, but I'm running a bit late and I promised I'd show you how to sharpen a spoke shave, so we'll do that too. And you'll notice, you hardcore woodworking Mastercast stream watchers, I have not used any sandpaper today. Did you hear that, Theo? I haven't used any sandpaper today. That was for you, Ray, so don't go and dob me in. Fair dinkum. Didn't he give me grief over that? It's all good, mate. It's all good. And then again in here, which I won't do now, I'll do after, we'll clean that out, all the spoke shave. And all that will take would be the round spoke shave. Or if you don't have one of mine, you might have a 52 Stanley. That spoke shave, that's got the round sole on it. And the 51, or this is the Record 05 one, it's got the flat sole. So I'm using the round sole, and it's just a question of give that a little tap. See, it's not hard. And you can, from out of what appears to be just a lump of wood that you'd be happy to throw on the fire, you can make something beautiful and useful that people can use and cherish for a long time. So you can see I've done part of that there. And then all I'm going to do to the bottom is just plane that flat. But we'll put a bit of that oil on this just to show you what it's going to look like when it's finished. And next Saturday, you'll be able to see it because it'll all be finished. If you're having a barbecue or something and you had a cheese platter and you brought it out on something like that and put it down, I reckon people would be pretty impressed. And yet, that could have been firewood. But it's not. Oh, gee, I love the smell of that stuff. So that'll end up in our kitchen, I can guarantee it. Hi, Master. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name, but hello. Welcome. Spoke shave, yes, it's coming. Chemrick, what's going on? Hang on, where's my mouse? I nearly threw it out with the shavings. Chemrick, g'day mate. Haven't seen you for a bit. Must be hours. Oh, there you go. Well, he's left, mate. He's gone. Yeah, it'll be a day sharpening this afternoon. That's why it's good to have so many different planes behind me, because then if one's blunt, I can grab the other one. Well, could do a harades. I use a Tormic, which we did a demonstration earlier on in the stream with, but right now I'm going to show you how to use a stone and a strop to sharpen a chisel and to sharpen a spoke shave blade. Oh, mate, that's lovely. People go to sleep listening to me. There we go. Thanks, Miloff. Yes, this is live. Yeah, I hope he is proud. Someone just, Ray, who's on Twitch, for those of you on the other platforms, my co-conspirator who's slumming it down in Melbourne this weekend at a wood show, he's generally here and he insists on using sandpaper, which sends me into hyperventilation. Yeah, you can round that over, full of life on YouTube, you could round that over with a spoke shave. So the thing is with spoke shaves, you can get into all sorts of nooks and crannies, and there's this other little spoke shave here that is an absolute Bobby Dazzler. It is so small, and when I first saw it, I thought, that's hopeless, I'll never use that. I would say I'd use that in over 80% of spoke shaving situations. It is absolutely gorgeous, but when you compare it to the large one, it's so much smaller. John Metoya, how are I am well. You? I hope you're well. Siku, thank you. That's much easier for me to pronounce. Well, I'm going to sharpen this blade here, which I don't think is very sharp. This is on a Stanley spoke shave, and no, it's not sharp at all. There's nothing happening there. Oh, I can get a little bit of a shaving, sort of, but not much. So here we go. And I forget who it was that bought the spoke shave. Was that you, Clement? I don't know. All right, I've got two stones. One's a very coarse one, and one is a reasonably fine one. Let me just see if I can make a bit of space here. Oh, we'll have to go there. Big clean-up coming up. This would be a job for grandkids, eh? Get them away from the PlayStation 4s long enough. Well, it is PlayStation 4, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And the lubricant I use is just kerosene. You can use light sewing machine oil. I mean, you can use diff oil if you've got nothing else. You can use water. And that's the thing, you can use water on oil stones, but I wouldn't recommend putting oil on water stones. Now, I'm just going to blow this out. There we go. All right. Now, two stones. And what I've done with these stone holders that I've got, I'm over time and I'm still going. That's all right, I'll go until I finish this. I've, on the bottom, get out of there. On the bottoms, just here, I've put some fine nails and then just clip them off with a pair of pincers, and the same on here. The reason for that is, actually, if I put that, so that was just the base there. If I put that on the base, as I'm sharpening it will move, but because I've got these little nails, it won't move. It digs in, same with that one, it digs in. But if you're a little bit precious about your bench, you can put these into your vise. It makes no, never mind. This is really, really dull, this one. So what I will do, yeah, this is really, really dull. So I'm going to start this on this stone here, and you'll notice that this stone, the oil just soaks in very, very quickly because it's quite porous and pretty coarse. But I find the angle it's set at, and then if you bring it up just a fraction, you get a very, very slight change in colour on the stone, and you know that that actually is the edge. Yeah, look how quickly that soaks in. So I've got to be pretty quick. So I bring that up, and then I just move forward and backwards, but I'm going in a circular motion, so I'm covering the whole stone and also the blade. Oops. And all I want to do there is get a defined edge that I can put a secondary one on. And I don't move my arms, I rock my body. It's not holding in there real well, is it? And that's only because this one is so far out of whack, it's not funny. Okay. Just got a couple more goes with that. Then I'll move on to the other one. The other one you can use, which most likely would be preferable to this, would be a diamond stone. That's really giving me the heebie-jeebs, that. Okay. I'm just feeling for a wire to come off the back. It's just starting to happen. So I'll wait until I get a slightly bigger wire there, and then I know I've gone right up to the edge. Whoops, right up to the edge. These are messy things fiddly things to sharpen too. Okay, now I can feel I've got an edge all the way along there. So I'll finish with that one, come over to the smoother one. Marine, how are you going, mate? Welcome to the workshop. And you'll notice the oil won't soak in as quickly on this one. So now, I'm still going until I can feel that. Okay, got that burr all the way across. I'm just going to take that burr off again. I'm not moving my arms, I'm swinging my body. When I've got that burr all off, we go again, and hopefully I'll only have to do this 3 different times. First time I do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That should have given me a burr, which it hasn't. Yeah. Wait a minute. Alt sheet. It's going to be quicker. Where's that? Here we go. I think it was that far gone. I'll try a diamond stone. That's going to be... Now you can put oil on diamond stones. This one's the aggressive side. Ah, that's really cutting into it. Okay. You can hear it munching it. If you look at it, you can actually see that's flattening it down much better and quicker. See, if I was using the Tormek, I'd have it done by now. Okay, we'll get a couple more goes with that and we'll go back to the stone. It's good to have these. These are frightfully expensive, but they supposedly they last forever. I've had that one for, I don't know, quite a few years. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. As soon as you can feel that very fine wire coming on the back, you know you're there. So I'll do 3, 2, and then 1, and that should do it. It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, you take the wire off, and do 2. Very, very small wire on there. And you do 1. And back. It's very, very, you can almost not feel it. Clean that up. Hang on, I've just got to read this. Hi from New Zealand. I have a hard time during the circuit. Like if they're small chisels, I've got a Westrel on Twitch asked if they're small chisels, you don't have to go round. The only reason I'm going round is because this blade is actually wider than the stone, so I have to go around to do the whole blade. But if I was just using, what's that, a ½ inch, I don't have to go around. But what I will do is I'll go up that side and then come back this side. That way I don't wear a track in the stone. And if you're going to do a lot of chisels at once, I always start with the widest blade first and then work my way down, because if you start with the narrowest one first, you can leave tracks in your stone, and then you'll find the widest one will sharpen unevenly. So when I was just exclusively using stones, I'd start up with my number 8 plane, then my number 7, then my number 5, then my number 3s, and then I'd move into the chisels. All right, so that's been sharpened. I've got a leather strop here. I've got a video up in YouTube about how to make strops. We'll do that one day too. And all I'm going to do is strop this on the strop. I don't use a compound on this one. It is just pure hide, chrome tanned. And that is all I do. Now, where's a piece of paper? If I can find a piece of paper. Wait a minute. Got to be some paper here somewhere. Okay, from a blade that wouldn't cut anything to now, this paper's a bit wet, so it's not an excuse. There you go. It's still not as sharp as what the Tormic blade will get, but I think you'll agree that's not bad for a stone. There you go. So that's how you sharpen it on the stone. And persevere, try different ways. This stone here that I've just sharpened that on, I've noticed it's glazed over, and that was one reason it wasn't cutting so well. So what I've got to do now is flatten this and deglaze it. And all I do, I've got a video on that on YouTube as well, is I just use a piece of, or maybe 240 wet and dry on a sheet of glass and put Caro on it and just circular motions, figure of 8s, and pretty soon you'll see all that is nice and clean and dead flat, and when you put the oil on it, it'll soak in a lot quicker. because you've deglazed it and degunked all the grits. So there we go. Yeah, wire equals burr. Do. Bum, bum, bum. Oh dear. Clam it. In time, so I will have one of those spoke shaves. Yeah, I'll tell Terry to start making it, Clement. Could you do spoke shaves? Oh, absolutely. Yes, Ray. I would. Do you want me to do it now? I'll do one now if you want. But it's a lot quicker, I tell you. It's just, it hurts. What someone said, if you buy something, it only hurts once and then you get pleasure for the rest of your life. Whereas if you don't spend the extra, you get pain the rest of your life. No, mate, look, I'll show you. Even these little, anyway, those little blades you can sharpen in the Tormek. You don't use the blade the chisel holder. You use what we used. Oh dear, where's it gone? There you go. You use that jig there, and all you do is clamp it in its teeth like so, and then you use this jig to sharpen that. Exactly the same way as I did the knives in the beginning. And I've got to thank Michael at Tormek for that, because I tried sharpening that little one and I couldn't work it out, and I went and saw the guys at Tormek, or Promac, who bring Tormek into Australia, and they said, we'll try that, and yeah, it's a winner. So it works well. My favourite sharpening method is multiple sandpaper grits. Nothing wrong with that, full of life, that works just as well. Yes, I made the stone holders. Thank you. Yeah, but that's the reason I use circular motion, because if it's a wide blade, wider than your stone. I did have a water stone around here, and I think it's a bit wider than this diamond stone, and I wouldn't have to do the circular motions with that. Kerosene as the lube. Yeah, I don't know, I think it might be called paraffin in other places. Adrian Barber from New Zealand, welcome to the workshop. I have no idea what size that smoothing stone is. The Tormek in the grey stone I've got there, it starts out at 220, and then there's a, which I most likely haven't got here, a regrading stone that you can rub. I'll see if I can find it. You can rub on that stone and it actually grades it down to, oh, here we go, here's one. It grades it down to 1,000 grit. So if you can see, let's go close up. If you see here, that's really, really coarse. That will bring the wheel back to 220 grit. But if you want fine sanding, for example, doing those knives, I think I did those on 220, but 1,000 would do. You rub that on the wheel and it regrades the stone to 1,000 grit. And then if you've got some serious grinding to do that, and it brings the blade back up to 220. When I was talking to people at Promac, I've ordered another blade which is 1,000, and it's not a CBM, but it is a much faster wheel for cutting. And these stones, I have no idea. I think they were just graded coarse and smooth, coarse and fine. And they're nothing out of the box. They're just, I don't know, that's going to come out. There you go. If you can see that. It's just a Norton's $30 special from Bunnings. Aluminium oxide on the top, carborundum on the bottom, and I never use the carborundum side. And that's got to be 30 years old, I reckon. It cost me, I think I paid $15 for it. That'll tell you how long ago I bought it. And it's still absolutely fine. How do you tell a water stone from an oil stone? Generally, and this is just me having a guess, is a water stone is a lot softer. You can almost scratch a water stone with your finger. And when you use, this is a water stone here. Okay, that's about 6,000 grit. And actually, go back to that. Yeah, when you start working with this, you'll find you get a slurry come up, which is a muddying of the water. And that's another indication it's a water stone. That's about the only things I know. And they break a lot easier than oil stones, I think. I've had bits fall off on them. There you go. Yeah, thanks. I tried to, well, it's no, Siku, it's no good having stones if they're not flat, because you're not going to do your chisels any justice. Dog sat down again. Nice. Wish my dog had learned that trick. Well, straw wall, that's good, I'm pleased. Figure of eights is a good one for sharpening on stones too, yep. I use figure of eights a lot when I do French polishing as well. That leather there is cow. Oh, yeah, oh, hang on. That's cow. And this stuff up here I've actually got because I was going to make a heap of strops, but like everything else that I get involved in, I lose the plot. And this is actually buffalo hide, this one. That one on that strop's like a suede, which is this stuff here, that's a suede. And then this harder one on the outside is actually buffalo hide. So we might have to make some strops. See, I've got the leather. There's a pad behind me. Where? I'm not having that one. That's my drawing book, Ray. That's going to be worse than money when I'm dead. You're welcome, Seco. Yes. Terry's got a way of doing the hollows, but I generally do the round sharpening ones by hand. Any flat ones I'll use on the grinder. Fat man with a limp, welcome to the workshop. Yeah, mate, I've got, you want some hand rounders, TH. There you go, that's a 71. That's a 71 and a half. And, because I'm too slack, I didn't take it up to the in-house workshop. That's the Veritas version. And then we've got the 271s. They're quite handy for doing bits and pieces. And if you really want, I used to use this when I was doing lutherie work. There is a really, it's like a toy, but it's real. That's a Veritas Mini hand router. Did you expect that answer, TH? Oh, dear, hang on, where's my whatnot? So that's it. There's so much more I wanted to finish that knife block off, which I didn't. I've got a coat rack, which I wanted to do, which I turned those knobs for, which I was going to get Theo to do, and I thought, no, I'll do them. So that's, we might even do that on Monday, I think, the Woodworking Masterclass Monday, which if you're in the States, it's Sunday night, depending if East Coast or West Coast. I think it's the same time as these. So 7 o'clock on the, 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, and somewhere in the middle in Central. But yeah, we'll do that. Thanks, TH. Look, they have a myriad of uses. I use them for all sorts of things. Whoops. I says, a YouTube friend of mine, Benno over in Sweden. Benno, if you're watching, he made an absolutely gorgeous one out of, this is an old woman's tooth, the hand router, out of a, what you call it? An Allen key. And I think it's on, I put it on Facebook. And I think I also put it in a video that I put on YouTube, but I can't remember which the video was. But there you go. Yeah, I've heard these referred to. I think Paul Sellers calls them the cordless router. Yeah, cordless router, which I think is very clever. How do you sharpen the blades on those? Much the same. Oh, not much the same. It's... let me get one out. I should have a spare one in here somewhere. No, let me take one out of here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you take it out of the bit, put it flat on your stone like that. You get some of this rubbish out of the way. So flat on your stone like that, and again just move your body backwards and forward. And that'll give you the polish on the base. And then have your stone at the edge of your bench, put it on the angle you want there, and then exactly like that. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to sharpen it, but yeah, that works for me. And then again, I'll just, on the strop, on the bottom, and on the edge like that, and away you go. Well, that's it. Yeah, sorry I didn't get through everything. Is there anything that I said I was going to do, apart from making the knife block and, what was it, coat rack, that we were going to do that I didn't do? Or is there anything else you want re-explained? Or is there anything else you want to know while I'm tidying up? Ask away. Mate, honestly, I don't know. Hang on, I've got an angle finder over here. We'll give it a go. I would have thought they would have been, around the 30-degree sort of mark, but let's have a look, see. I just generally stick with whatever the manufacturers recommend. Well, there you go. I'm looking at, that's a brass angle gauge, and that to me is pretty close to 30 degrees. So I would stick with around the 30 degrees. I'm sure there's something on Google, but I just mainly just go on what the angle was. Well, I don't want to take that one, it's too hard to put back in. But that was a brand new one on the, what do you call it? Veritas one. So, look, I think anything with cutting wood, apart from planer blades going into a thicknesser, which I think, and again, I'm not sure, I think I set mine at, is it 40 degrees or 45 degrees or something? But with woodworking hand tools, for most timber, anywhere between 22.5 degrees and 33 degrees will seem to work without any drama. So there you go. Alcohol-powered tools. There you go. If only I'm not that accurate when I wouldn't trust myself. I used to. I was doing some French polishing once, and it's something I can show you, but you won't really understand it because it's very much a feel thing. You've got to get the feel of what's going on. But they just bought beer out in clear beer bottles. I forget what it was. It was Hahn High Top or something or other. Anyway, I had the shellac in a very similar looking bottle, and it was about 9:30, no it wasn't, it was 7:30 at night, and I just put some shellac on my rubber and I started doing some polishing, and I reached over to get a swig of beer, which was roughly the same colour as the shellac, and oh, yeah, not nice. And it gave me a head spin in about 15 seconds, so I'll give that a miss. And then I reached out and grabbed the beer and put it over my polishing cloth and just nearly started polishing with beer. So alcohol and workshops do not mix. I have discovered that. Bourbon, well, that's medicinal, TH. That's not alcohol, that's medicinal. What sort of things do I make, Ramey? Oh, I'm making a cedar cabinet over there, which we'll continue with on Monday. I've got a chessboard over there, which I don't know if I'll do anything with that on Monday because I haven't had a chance to do any more filling of it, but this is one we've done over the last couple of Mondays. So that's all, it was all done with veneer, and that coat on it at the moment is de-waxed blonde shellac. We've done knife blocks, which I was going to do another one today. We've made mallets. We're making music stands, which we can get back to when Theo gets here. We've got little side tables. When I start in the house workshop, I'm making a Japanese screen out of oak. So basically, you know, whatever floats our boat, I suppose. A great Google says, oh, there you go. 71's 25 degrees. There you go. We're 5 degrees out, obviously. 25 degrees is what I set all my chisels at now. I used to have them at 25 and then a secondary at 30. But since I switched totally over to sharpening on Tormek, I just go one primary angle and that's it. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate that. Though apparently the underside is 5 degrees or something which gives you a total of 30 degrees. Well, there you go. Yes, we do cabinetry. I've got a door to make. There's a door frame that we've just finished. We did this cabinet that I'm making on Monday. I'm continuing with that. The top bit has got, I think it's 40 dovetails or something ridiculous. Just in the top, and I did half of those live. It's got sliding dovetails, it's got tonguing grooves back, it's got secret compartment. What else has it got? It's got a hidden humidor in full sight and a panel door, which we might start on the weekend. Oh, Alex, goodbye. Did you practice with the plane? But that's it. So, if all goes well, I can get the trendy credits up. I really appreciate it. Once more, if you've followed me on Twitch, thank you so much. If you've given me bits and cheers, thank you. Any donations, I gratefully accept and I'm humbled to receive. If you subscribe, fantastic. If you're on YouTube, it'd be great if you could subscribe. If you're with Patreon, thank you again. And everyone for just turning up and making the chat room such a great place to be. And so much fun. I look forward to having your company in 2 days' time. So Monday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, or that's Sunday nights in the States, very early in the morning in Europe. And I think we pick up people through the day. So until then, this is Steve pulling the shed door down and saying, remember to keep it sharp, but more importantly, keep it safe, enjoy your woodwork, be kind to each other. God bless, have a great few days, and if you're in that hurricane, I hope you're safe. And any other disasters that are happening around the world, please stay safe and log in, and I will see you at the bench in the workshop very, very soon. Bye for now.